Oh, wow, I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazi.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe.
This is a death match, and I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your kitty?
We're looking at 10 and 6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's third, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do you think we're doing so far?
You know, it could be better.
Could be better? You're one of those rough days?
Well, you know.
Let's go find more people to harass. Yeah. Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco. Oh my God, I don't think anyone is gonna get that. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise still got really good odds. A Large Bagel, one of their tank players, Nerdy Bird, they're off tank. Both of them not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast. Interview. Change your mindset. Change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Anything from you?
How are you doing, Polly?
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome to ECAC Top Plays of the Week. This is Rod, your favorite host, back at it again with more stellar plays from collegiate esports. Special thanks to our partners at ESports for the additional coverage. Let's hop straight into it. Starting off this week at number 8, we have Torchy showing aerial dominance. They show that you're going to have to work a little bit harder if you want to get back on their stage.
Tiny bit here. Now you got to mix up your timings getting back onto the stage. Torchy is looking for something, able to still find the jab, and the foil is going to be.
Next up, we have Cadmus, showing us what impact on a support player really looks like. With the timing of a Lucio God, they come in to claim the play of the game.
Player just going to deny anyone an attempt to hit the objective, and I mean, at this point in time, you gotta expect those rollouts to be as quick as they are.
Moving on to Rocket League, we have Swax, showing why they own the airspace with a nice self-follow-up, netting WSC the goal.
As we are going to try to find out that little nugget of information, Swax is going to drop this one down and give us a tie game here in game number 2. Gets that nice little touch over the defender, Peter.
As an Astra main myself, nothing brings me more joy than watching Zeno hold it down on the C site with a nice 4K to secure the second round of the half.
Fine, there's a 50-50 angle. They're checking a beautiful spray down onto 3. Players come in for the rotate from the rest of the map control. And a beautifully played round by FSU, capped off by a nice old.
Now at the number 4 spot, we see that luck is a skill when Post gets 2 back-to-back kickoff goals. All it took was 6 seconds to go from a deficit to the lead. That is comeback potential.
Other ways.
I don't... What? Okay, so Warda actually messed up their kickoff. They 100% did not mean to land like that and then just happened to get a wave dash into it. Hey, listen, fortune favors the bold, and sometimes it's better to have dumb luck than to not be lucky at all. So we'll take it 100%, especially if they get another one. Kabuki to tally it on, and they're proving it isn't just...
Coming back into Smash, we have Bryce showing a ledge guard of the gods. It took a couple Gordos to nail it, but this clip truly ended in perfection.
Nope, not a footstool inside, unfortunately.
They're just going to be looking for some sort of an edge guard here now. That Gordo is right in the way, and Bryce going to be able to get the...
Conrad came into this round swinging. They really showed what happens when you combine the skill of a great player and the blessing of the RGX Vandal.
Over-aggression. It worked out so well. I mean, just a double kill already in their favor. Push so far the Sheriff, I mean, has been truly impressive. Unfortunately, he was not been there to follow up. Conrad now looking for the ace, already able to find 3, looking for 2 more. There's the 4th, and it's up to the tail to save the day. Conrad goes in deep. Oh, they're able to find it. Conrad.
Finally, at the number 1 spot this week, Frosty lays down the law with a stunning barrage. What a way to tell the enemy to get off my point.
Frosty to move
open, unabated, unhindered. Here comes the rocket barrage, and it's lighting up the scene with 4.
Well, that wraps it up for me. This has been another fantastic week of ECAC Top Plays of the Week. As always, follow us on Twitter and catch us live on Twitch at ECAC_esports. You can find us live on Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST or Wednesdays at 7. Thanks again to our partners at Esports U for providing all the additional coverage for us to show you. This has been Rod, the best host of this season. I'm just saying. And I'm signing off.
That's why we're here, right? This is why a lot of people are trying to figure out,
Hello, fellow kids. I am just like you, and I'm here to see some Valorant. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Los as we get ready for some Week 6 ECAC action here presented on Esports U. Los, it is a wonderful Tuesday evening. We're choosing to sit inside and, having a little bit of that Halloween hangover. But how are you this fine evening?
Well, I'm not hungover. I'm perfectly fresh and ready to go. But you said fellow kids. How old are you? I don't want to expose you right now, Monkey Man. You said fellow kids, so you brought that into my mind. What?
Look, I may be a young buck in my early 30s, but I've got the sly devil of a collegiate kid, as most of these people are, I think, in general, right? Everyone is? I don't know. But
for the most part.
yeah. But, I think either way, that the energy is brought. These guys have been able to bring it to me every single week that I've been allowed to sneak into the booth. And, thank you for inviting me back. But, Los, we're going into a wonderful best of 3 tonight between the Muskies of Muskingum and the Danes of the University of Albany.
Yeah, that's right. UAlbany currently sitting at 5-0 right now in this season. That is a dominant squad, and they're looking very terrifying. They haven't even given up a singular map throughout this season, so not an opponent you want to really step up against, but also Muskingum 4-2, still a respectable position. They have that ability to even the levels, get that 5th win for themselves and knock a loss on to the Danes. But below us, we've got the map bans. We're already getting right into it. It's going to be Icebox, Haven, and for a decider, it'll be Bind. So, this is the most surprising map pool that we've seen here in Collegiate.
I've seen Bind a lot, but Haven being in the midst of it, I'm excited because Haven ends up being kind of that more decider of your end of 3, and I'm very sad we won't get to have some pro play after getting to see a lot of that last week. But we go into Icebox, and the Muskies, I really hope that they've been able to improve on their previous rendition of this. They were pretty much not able to do much. They froze up, if you will, on this particular map, and I want them to be able to find some fire and some heat, and I want to see if they can be able to do that with some great pushes and executions getting onto site.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. If they want to bring back a little bit of energy and fire in their hearts, they have to really start this series off with a bang. Now, I see Rocinante hover in that harbor. I want to let the folks know that he's legal now. You can use him, and that is it's a risky move. It's a bold move. And one I definitely like to see because, for the most part, I would imagine not many teams are practiced with him. Sure, they've been messing around, seeing what value he could provide to their squad as a different controller with that very versatile smoke screen or water wall that he puts up. And I think it's going to be a big loop if anyone uses it. However, it doesn't seem they'll commit to it, and that's actually good for me because I just had to Google what his abilities were called before this call.
I mean, right now it is still being hovered by the side of the Danes. Interlude is thinking about it, and that may end up happening. The biggest opinion that I've gotten, Viper, cool.
Oh my God, my light flashed before my eyes for a second.
I quickly had that same Google. I copy-pasted, notepad. I was like, all right, what are these things? I've also heard from a lot of great people that he's a neat controller, but even though he's pure controller, he's actually one of the weakest controllers. So maybe it's something that will be developed over time into a meta, but we go more into a proper meta. We're going to see some Vipers. We're going to have our Chambers. Rocinante last time around was on that Viper. We're going to see if maybe Oath can continue to be that pop-off style killer that they were before, but it's going to be all about how you can take control of mid. Had a lot of good poison orb control and just taking away that sight line, but it seemed that every single time the Muskies were trying to head into A, they got stuck in the warehouse, and every time they tried to escape, well, they were just being sniped down.
No, you can't allow yourself to be bogged down. If one plan doesn't work out, you have to have those contingencies, and that is what is it's a big factor. And also, interestingly enough, just zero name here for Sage, and I should have paid more attention during that agent selection. But hey, maybe we'll see in the kill feed. They'll have a proper name regardless. That's gonna be UA Sage.
Hey, well, I mean, you could say that they're operating from the shadows. That is going to be Shadow on that particular blank name, but we will get to see maybe how this dual Sentinel, you do have a hungry chamber and a bit of that extra control when it comes to the wall going down. We do have a couple of initiators as well as KO and Sova are going to try and play nice on that opposite end, but you do have the Fade that's hanging out on the Muskie side of operations. So as we go into our first game, a nice quick kill. That's going to be Rocinante getting a wall bang against their doppelganger, and that's going to give them a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, hit the rendezvous. They've got some help, some support from EK, so they can take their time. And it's a major rotation, as you can see. Mid is certainly going to be a point of contention. Kitten doesn't want to give that up. You've got Sal there to contest it as well. As well as for a plant, they have to make a move.
You did have a Prowler that's coming straight in. They're going to try and get that Haunt, but looking at the Haunt, they used it as a bait. That was a great idea by Kitten to take that one-on-one against Sal's. They've just been trying to coordinate around mid, and then you see this backside of Kitten around to Rope. This wall has been broken, and now it's all about straight duels. Frenzy does not land any shots as Shadow will put EK straight to the Shadow realm, but this is a 2-on-4 plant still coming. As they use the Toxic Screen, they're going to try and spam through. Shadow finds another one on Rocinante.
Keep on spraying. A third for Shadow. This is huge, as well as the spike planted. Turns into a 2-on-2, but health is majorly low for you, Albany. There's opportunities here. You've got an orb. You could use that to cut off vision and go for a diffusal. Pond is also available, so I'll be selling for some information. Crossfire, it's going to be something of a nightmare to deal with.
One enemy.
He's going to back up. Oh, a nice dink. That's a 4K. Looking for the ace is Shadow, as they want to be able to get another one. And they're going to open up this game. Danes will be howling as the Muskies seem to be in an advantageous position there, Los. But ultimately, it's just the fearlessness of Shadow. They get 5, and they stay alive and get that first round.
That's absurd, and it goes instantaneously into that full buy. Full Vandal, everything you need, and maybe even a purchase of a sidearm for one of their teammates. And that just is straight up pain, Monkey Man. So no one will even opt to go for that upgraded pistol in response. It'll be a full-on save for round 2.
So that's some confidence lost. I did like the aggressiveness coming out of mid as they went to go meet Sal. That KO didn't do too much, and I do like that we're already seeing kind of the alteration between peeking over to A, seeing if they can get anyone to bites. Maybe this kind of movement, especially by EK on that raise, which didn't really talk about too much, but Wired Up will invite danger, be able to get rid of Shadow. You may have gotten the ace in the first one, but not in this one. Trade, Interlude, Spectre, Diff right now, and they're gonna be able to get that plant.
Yeah, that's a major player taken out as the first blood for this round. But it's a post plant, already going to be difficult enough since it's only classics. They'll try and make their engagement here. Spectres, looking at the main point of contention, it's going to be screens. You also have that factor of Raptors being an entrance, but it's Rusty who's flanking from mid.
One enemy remaining.
They had mid control for all of a second. Rusty came up, ruined their entire day, and is able to get a 3K to just wipe it off. Rocinante may have gotten them the first rip, but it's going to be rip for them as the first couple go for the Dane. So the Muskies of Muskingum are going to be fighting it right back up. They saved a whole bunch, and they have... Wait a minute. If Rusty sticks with that through these first couple of rounds, we've already got a round 3 opt to go through it. And this is just, you know, great mid play to be able to have Rusty come up and just ruin their day looking from screens and onward.
And there's not much of a response for that. I mean, the most that could be done is a orb placed down mid, or just a no-go zone established down mid. And that's going to be the signifier. EK falls within seconds of the round beginning, and it's a rush onto A site.
That is a just... you get a bullet through the chest. It's a weird way to breathe, but I wouldn't recommend it. Rusty's going to re-navigate over to back in to see if they're going to have any kind of rotation out from B, but holding that long sight is going to be Rocinante. He's going to have that rendezvous, but they're going to use it to just get out after taking a ton of damage, a good chunk out of that French vest. Going to have to go back to the Taylor. Screens will go up. They're going to take away vision from top as well and allow them to get a plant down. So this is just so far good control out of the Danes. They've been able to just work off of a man advantage, but Wired Up is able to at least get one.
And Noam was in a critical position there, but it was read out. They don't want to be flanked again. They've had a post-plant retake scenario go haywire, specifically due to Shadow, and they want to ensure that everything is working for them. With all this utility expended, may be a problem later on. They have the barrier. If it isn't destroyed within seconds of being activated, they have a case for a defusal.
Do peek it just in case, and now they know they can play with time. This is a very difficult situation. You have to be able to read your angle, but no one checks the right side. Oh, and that's a lot of bodies dropping. Right-click hero. Do they even need it? Oath is going to try and get whatever they can. Sal is going to make sure that this one goes the long haul. It already will, and they find that final kill as an consolation prize for giving their life for the cause. So the first three go over to the Danes. I was telling you, Los, last time around, seeing the Muskies, they had good ideas whenever they were on Icebox. I'm not going to lie to you. The first 10 rounds, 9 of them went to their opponent. It was not a good time. And so far, I mean, this is early, but it's looking kind of similar.
Yeah, the barrier placed by Wired Up was a good idea, but there wasn't a thorough enough follow-up because you had Rocinante take that first peek, but wasn't clearing those corners, and that became a big issue. I mean, it was a double spray down from Interlude that made it such a hassle to defuse that spike. So it was essentially over with that one moment, with that one corner not being checked.
Rusty's going to hang on to mid control, see if anyone will get aggressive and peek up, be it Rocinante or otherwise. They've identified one with that nice quick recon bolt, and so they're going to move on through. Take control of Rafters. Shadow is hunting for more heads. They've not been able to get too many since the last time around. The Viper's Pit does get expended, so this makes this even tougher venture for anyone to try and take in. All bullets, all guns, looking towards screens and Rafters, and they're going to have a great post-plant hold from distance.
Yeah, that's a big commitment with that Viper's Pit, especially since it's a low buy here from the Muskies. Only got some stingers. They have to keep it close quarters. But I mean, hey, that may work to their advantage. However, Interlude taking a serious amount of damage. Only 20 HP. Might be able to survive this one out, as the real threats are not inside the pit. They lie without. Great shot from Rocinante, but can they follow it up?
Oh. Only when you can only afford a couple of headhunter bullets, the economy is tough, but you're able to at least inflict some damage. So right now, Rocinante kind of holding the squad together. They will have that toward force. There's a revive already for Shadows. They are looking slick at 7-2. Sal's got that null command, and that could really drive them onto site if they want to. They haven't really been too much in a rush. They've played with those early seconds, seeing if maybe they can play for a pick, but I mean, they were able to get rich in a hurry in those first 3 rounds, get that operator, and they've just been powerful really against the Muskies.
Here's a bit of power. It's Rocinante with that tour de force. Mid never was a point of their control, but now they've got it under their grasp, or at least they should. You've already got Sal. He's made his way up into the tube. This could be dangerous. There is the trademark to signify that he's walking on through. But other than that, it's just a game of chicken.
He's going to look at it. They're going to get a bit of intel, and you already see kind of that swing, and they're calling for a rotation, which is perfect. The null command is actually going to tease them and not allow any maybe rotations, and they're going to be working maybe to go over to screens if they want to directly push, but this has drawn some key players away and off-site A, and they're going to actually work off that null command, but Wired Up does find Shadow, so one of their key lethality pieces is off the table for this round. They have Wired Up. Got an idea that they're right there. That is a nice shock dart. They heard footsteps, no aim, showing they got good aim.
Wired up. Oh, they did their job at least to take down one player. Got their one. It's up to the rest of the squad. Now no longer needing to deal with that no command. You've got Rocinante. They have this tour de force, but it's not exactly a piece of hardware that you could retake easily with. Toxic Screen is just going to be an absolute nightmare to defuse behind. Everyone's taking their time. They are waiting, playing for that defusal. No peeks needed.
Ooh, EK, only takes a wallbang bit of damage and actually is able to re-peek to get rid of Rusty, but that is UA taking this all day. Rocinante gonna try and Mission Impossible across, but they are sat down in a hurry. The bomb will go off. The first 5 going over to the Danes. It is looking like a racetrack, and though they're not Greyhounds, lumbering along just fine are Albany, and I mean, they still got the revive. They were able to employ, actually, sorry, opposite end. You have the Muskies that still have the revive, trying to be able to keep people on the field. They're going to be in a weird buy situation. Rocinante is looking at maybe buying up, but it's going to be kind of a half save, maybe a hero rifle to come in with it, with this full half shields across the board. But everyone otherwise is looking pretty slick and sharp economy-wise and every-wise when it comes to Albany.
They've got nothing to worry about. 5 rounds in a row. Money is looking fantastic. And at this point, you just want to play it close. Try and pick up any frags where you can. But also at the same time, if you're Albany, you already know that that's exactly what they're dealing with. They want to play those quick corners. They want you to run into them. So you can't play into their hands like that. You have to be careful, and they'll hit it with a big-time default here.
Trying to sneak around. Maybe make the Muskies make some mistakes. Draw them out. You get that free fire going on. That's just way out in mid to see who will be peeking. They're looking for a double swing here on B, and they've taken over both those angles, and that is great to push Rocinante away. Sal's able to get a wall bang with it, so they will be progressing this one onto B. The Toxic Screen will go down, and from opposite of that, you do have this push up with the Snake Bite. They're going to hang out behind that short door. You're going to have this progression coming away and up top in through kitchen. EK from the top rope. Oh, and Oath just can't quite find Sal before he hangs in that corner, and he's going to be able to get 3.
Yeah, this is a massacre. Plain and simple. Sal will be denied that ace. Wired up. Does it want to face that pain again? And the rest of the Muskies, at least they won't be hit with a flawless round. There's not really a chance. I mean, hey, that was a little bit of a dink there from Wired Up, but no chance to save a rifle and just have to go out there and full send, right?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd find the first maybe ace with the burst fire of a stinger from distance. You know that.
Those go crazy. You would be surprised how well you could speak a stinger burst kill into existence.
I mean, I really honestly would. I have never seen that work. I mean, maybe mine are just made of feathers and people have a DLC for actual bullets because mine never kill anyone. I don't even think they even damage with a burst from that distance. I don't know.
Valorant is pay to win. We do know that. Viper's bit committed down A and Wired Up with a big opener onto Rusty.
So they're going to have to walk into the Nickelodeon slime pits. One of my favorite things as a kid, but the rotation will occur, and it's because you have this hangout of the KO just on A, so everyone's kind of committed, but they're recognizing there's not a lot of numbers coming, so they'll hang out in safety of the Viper's pit, whereas everyone is starting to push on the B, and now you have the screen going down, orb in hand. They're going to have their own Viper's pit with interlude if they choose to expend it. They've been able to get it now twice. They're probably looking to maybe even get it thrice.
Might be the case. A little bit of a dangerous game, but wait, it wasn't even planted. What is going on here? It's because A has been all but abandoned. It's a massive rotation. Sal, so far pushed up, waiting for anyone to walk on through, but there might be some trouble here. Because you've got that peek down from mid on Kitten, but no chance. Full-time rotation.
Sal's just holding the door. Says, I will hold the line. You better come at me. And now we had one Viper's Pit. They run away. That goes down. Another Viper's Pit comes up, and it's on the attackers. Oh, my goodness. And they are going to have a revive, so they're back at full strength. That is going to be so frustrating for the Muskies. They're just getting out-rotated and baited into using their most valuable pieces.
Well, at the very least, if they didn't expend all their resources, Nightfall coming in, time for the retake to take place, and opens it up. But can they stand the Viper's Pit? It seems they can.
It's like a 1v1 on Rust. Just gonna have to have as many bullets as you can, run it down. Oh, that operator in Rusty's hands is very, very tough to deal with. Wired Up will drop. No aim. Is gonna have enough aim when it comes to this Hunter's Fury. That will keep them off site. That will allow this one to be a 7th round win. Rocinante trying to be able to live through it. He will not, unless he's been able to have powers of darkness to edgelord his way out of the dome. He will drop. 2 will live. Rusty and No Aim see and assure that this is still a runaway train in favor of the Danes.
And that was a very big commitment by the Danes. I mean, how many ultimates? I think minimum 3. There might have been a use of Sal. I'm not sure how long ago they had that null command, but 3 ultimates is it's nothing to sneeze at. But at the same time, they're cycling them quite nicely. You still have that tour de force on Rusty. You still have that op in hand, so they are willing to throw everything they've got to ensure it is an undefeated Icebox.
Yeah, and they've been doing so with the confidence that they're going to get them back. I mean, we've now seen a couple of Viper's Pits. We're going to see a null command probably come back up here soon. You have 5 remaining. Rusty is going to get out of dodge after trying to throw an operator bullet into someone's skull, but Kitten is able to live another day. They are looking at where that bullet, in fact, went. It exited from that Canix box. Sal is waiting to see if Kitten will come around, but right now, they said, you know what? That is too dangerous of a game for me to play. But this is a lot of good mid-control, taking their time. Albany's just not stepping out of line.
No, definitely not. They protected the art. Oh, I'm not sure. I think that actually did make a full commitment. Suppression onto Kitten. They want to take a shot. Again, it does not matter what they want because the wall is up. So is Interlude's time. No longer having smokes for this take, but they'll be able to make their way onto B regardless.
All right, I'm trying to see if they can find any extra weapons that were dropped by maybe compatriots that are otherwise. Sal will get dropped by a Stinger. Okay, you know what? I'm starting to believe what you're saying. Maybe the Stinger is the key to victory. I don't know.
Showstopper available, so that could be critical. That one Stinger kill might have been everything. If Rusty can tap down Wired Up, that is going to seal it. And EK, they had the burst out. I was a believer for sure, but not with this 8-0 scoreline right now.
This is dangerously similar to what happened last time the Muskies were on Icebox. I'm not gonna lie, it was literally 9 out of 10 rounds. I think it went 8-1, and then it went 9-1 through those first 10. So I was surprised whenever I saw Muskingum decide that they want to go back to Icebox. Maybe they had thought of something different. Maybe they wanted to try something different. This is the exact same kind of portfolio of agents, and it's Rocinante that does have an operator, so they take Shadow off the board. There will be no revives for them. Prowler's going to try and find what they can. That's a nice undercut toss. On that blind, the fragment comes out to force them out of position. Looking for that ult orb. They get it for free. Oath does not spray through the toxic screen.
No, and they've got essentially everything under control here. Sure, they're blocking off B, but B doesn't exactly seem to be the route they want to go. It all feels that they're poking and prodding at the Muskies and seeing wherever they could get that first kill. Just a simple default because they know they could play around and mess around with the defenders. But still, they're down on Shadow, so that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, they haven't depended upon them, but they've liked to lean on them. EK is finally getting some lethality. Sal hits the floor. Oath will as well, and that will start to maybe give mid more of an entrance lane as they were exiting away from that B main. That is still a Rusty. Oh, he just turns, finds Kitten, looks one way, says, oh, hey, how you doing? And that will be a plant that successfully goes down, maybe they'll be able to have that at least coming up. Those paint shells are going to allow for some extra chip damage. Interlude still gets a spray after putting it on the ground. It becomes a 2-on-2. The numbers advantage just means nothing in favor of the Muskies.
Rusty was the main threat here because it's a very low interlude. And that'll be it. It's the Muskies' first round. This has been such a long wait, a long fight. Now they've gotten their first, but again, Monkey Man, it's only their first round. They have such a long way to go. They can at least make it a respectable 8-4 half if they continue that trend.
This is such deja vu. I swear this is actually last Tuesday. I don't know. Look, October is not allowed to end because I'm not a big fan of November, although it has a lot of football. So, you know, I do enjoy that they got their first round. They could turn this into a 4A, maybe turn some of this around. You do have a showstopper, which is just burning a hole in EK's pocket. At least, like, I'm projecting that. They have not been able to really turn it into a big playmaker. And I want to see if more of that can. You have the tour de force for Rusty. He's already been showcasing how good they are on the operator. Oh, that one. Rocinante will drop to the floor after Shadow is able to find him. And this becomes a full power play push by the Danes.
Oh, big paint shells placement along with the slow orb could be deadly, but not deadly enough. Have to worry because it is just a massacre. Activation of that null command makes things that much easier, but in the end, it's a 3-on-2. Ammo gone! Wired up on the Ghost is enough to save their compatriot, and it's all down to Shadow, the 1v2. The spike isn't even planted. There's definitely not enough time to bring back the UWYO, and they're stuck in the seas, and Kitten with a 4K gets it.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot of util to have to deal with. They got rooted. There was a reload happening on the right side. They ran away for cover underneath the rafter, and then when they look left, the Prowler comes at them. It was a blind date, and they didn't even get to see what they were reacting to after the fact. So, that's a couple in a row. That's looking pretty good. 4-8 is the limit that can happen for this first half for the Muskies. So, feeling good about it. There's still a lot of good, well, I mean, if there could be a slight breakage in the economy on the other end for the Danes, but they can be able to buy up for each other easily. Tour de force will come out for Rocinante. Another wall for just slowing them down. They've done pretty good about working around these Sages.
Yeah, they don't provide too much of a threat, especially with those walls. If you've got rifles in hands, you can take them down, but all of these different screens are going to be a bit of an issue in terms of the vision that's given. Oh, he's in a critical spot, and if they can save themselves, they may be able to save the round as well.
Oh says, heal me, please. Healing orb. That's what you do. If you're not going to do anything else, do that. So they're going to be hanging out on the other side of screens. That one will pop up, and no one's going to burst it down as they're going to try and get this one off. Nightfall gets expended. It's hard to hear when you're deaf. They are able to find everyone on the other side, though. The Viper's Pit does occur, so this is just a catastrophe of utility. Another snake bite will go through as they're trying to be able to push them away from the safety net. Interlude, another snake bite out around Maze, and it is a killing frenzy right now in favor of the Danes.
Rocinante in a big position. If they find this kill onto no aim, that could be the round. But actually, the paint shells, it takes down the Viper's Pit, and dropping down EK has to land this final blow.
Do they have enough time? I think that orb went down just a little bit too soon. Oh, 0.25. The clutch up will happen for the Danes. Able to deny just long enough. If they had gone for that engagement, they would have maybe died too soon, and that would have give EK another chance to get that one to a third round. But instead, we're in last round of the first half. That was dang exciting. We're gonna have at least one revive per side. You're gonna have another Viper Pit. Maybe Oath will be able to expend that to just straight up deny if they can, or maybe even go in for a retake.
Yeah, gotta throw everything that you can now that it is the final round. I'm seeing a judge. I'm liking it, and this is a straight up denial of B main. You're not coming through green. It's not gonna happen, but the issue is there's 2 lanes now being made. So that is not a foolproof method.
Okay, just wanted to go on a field trip and see what they could see. There's a spam of bullets through that tunnel. And right now, this is playing with fire. Oath is hanging out. You do have a lot of kills, actually, as everyone is just stomping through mid. And that would be a revival of Sal. Can they be able to move it straight up? You know what? They decided mid is still the thoroughfare they want to travel because they do have that orb in place. Hanging out into a short shotgun battle. Rusty's waiting for Oath to peek, and Oath says, this is my home, I go nowhere, but it really doesn't help them too much. Oh, able to whip it around. So shotgun does find the mark, but everyone's still on site, and they're hanging out in a dangerous position as everyone starts to migrate around boxes.
Yeah, this is a dance in the pit, and Oath will take another. It's 3-on-3. But the health is in major favor of the Muskies. Anyone continues to play around this pit, it's not going to be pretty. Oath walks on out, transfers it into a rifle, and looks for a fourth, and they find it.
Sal from the top rope. Can he be able to get down in time? They commit to it. Oh, pros do not fake. And though Sal is able to find a 4K to end the half, that is commitment to getting at least that third round. So it becomes a 9-3, 3-9, whatever way you want to spin it. Could be curse, it could be worse, it could be better. But the Danes are feeling pretty good from this position. They're one away from just hitting that confidence of 2 digits on their round wins.
Double digits aren't always going to make you feel good about yourself. The thing is, I'm going to imagine with such a massive round disparity, 6 rounds between the two of them, Albany, they may be playing a little bit aggressive. And that's not an issue by any means, but it can cause some rounds to be thrown away. This pistol is going to be a major decider. If they lose out on this one due to a little bit of aggression, a little bit of antsiness to get this game on the road, might be an opportunity for the Muskies to take quite a few rounds away.
You know what it is. Your team always like, all right, we get pistol, we win the world. That's how it works. You just feel like you're endless momentum. But for the time being, it is actually a slow cha-cha, straight up B main, as you do have a wall that I think is denying them straight up around yellow. So they're just hanging out, bomb. It's kind of default. They're looking to see what kind of kills they can get. Just anything and everything. Nest is looked at. You have 4 on site or round site B. So there's a single hold by Sal on A as they're creeping right along. EK is giving away their position, and they didn't recognize that they were actually rotating on top of Snowman.
That's a big loss to take. Rocinante easily sniffed out. How many players do you have their crosshairs on a position? However, big opening onto A with Sal's death, so cause for a rotation and a free plant on A. It's going to be a 4-4 retake.
Kitten got a little bit of info. Oh my goodness. Rusty says, hey, Rocinante, how you doing? Hot is going to try and identify from the rafters. Doesn't really tag anyone. Direct wall of denial. You can't really be able to get too much, but there's a gap to it. Right-click hero. They cannot be. Oath from distance. You're going to have to expend the snake bite early. It's a 1-on-3. You have a couple with very, very low health, and so the one with the most health is actually going for the defusal. They're sticking it, and it's going to be no aim with good aim. Top of mid. So that 10th round does come, but you know what? There's a lot of people paying the price. Ultimately, it was the Muskies that paid the highest.
I liked that wall from Wired Up because I believe that it was an intentional gap left in there just to funnel their opponents into that very small area. They get hit with the right click, and that would have been the idea because it would have been a massive kill feed because they would break through that eventually. They were much too close for a time, playing for time for the spike to explode. So creating the best opportunity for you to find success, that was what it was, and I respect that. Unfortunately, those right clicks just did not hit their mark.
Sometimes it's like when just a lottery move. You have no idea how lucky with where those bullets are just gonna just bloom. But if I see something like that, big brain play, cool. That's definitely smarter than anything I would have tried to do in Valorant. But gotta see if you can execute, especially in these moments when your team needs you to the most. Aldrone will tag one. Paint Shells are gonna try and force multiple people off sites as you do have one taken down and hurt. Sal just getting a 3K going off in a hurry. Oh, it was basically a funnel and his gun was at the end of it.
You love to see those eco frags pad the stats. Sal still salty about not being able to secure that ace quite a few rounds ago on the attacking side. So they'll settle for just a bit of a massacre on the eco rounds. Well, why not? But this is a big issue here, or a big moment. Rifle round. Muskies want to come back, but will they be expecting Rusty to have an op? I'm not expecting Rusty to have an op right now. That's insane.
That is twice now in the third round of each half that Rusty has had an op. Last time, Mega Rich had a full shield with it. This time, only a half shield. But Rusty is very bougie and requires an op. It is their favorite crutch, and they will make sure that you are having to deal with it. Snakebite goes underneath the poison orb. Is anyone going to go to the top side of Yellow Box? It'll be EK that does put out some paint shells with the slow orb. That is a very narrow gap, but Rusty is taking tenor of it. Rocinante trying to be able to jump scare him. Can't quite do it. This is just those two chambers playing tag.
Well, Rocinante able to walk out of that one, but nobody is walking away from Shadow's Massacre. Well, I say that as they get gunned down the second they leave the poison orbit. Issue is, they don't need to make this commitment. However, they're stuck. They're stuck inside green and can't make an escape.
There's an op at your back and 3 players at your front that are ready to just end your career if you can. Or if they can, rather. Oath is able to at least find interlude, so there's Viper on Viper action that is free to see here if you want to see more on Esports U. Quick whip, Rusty's able to find one. Rocinante is finishing what he started before, but they are able to at least use that single step away to get onto side A. It's going to be a 2v3. Healing is wired up, and they're going to be able to have just enough time to get this plant down. They're going to use a Viper pit, a wall, and try and defend with their lives.
Great thinking. Picking up that orb to ensure the safety. It's going to be a bit of trouble. We've seen the Vipers pick committed on A many times. This will be no major boon of information. Sure, they'll know exactly where the Muskies are hiding. The suppression could be critical. However, they're sitting with a crossfire. If anyone comes from above, they'll be gunned down within seconds.
I do like this hard angle that the wall has created. Rusty has to be able to get involved into it. They will be able to spray him from behind. That is the Viper pick going down, playing for your life. You have... Oh, they're going to stick it. All they have to do is turn the corner. This is a great defense, and that's going to be a post-plant hold that works out for the Muskies. They are only going to be able to hang on to one singular rifle, but they make the most out of a bad situation here, Los.
That was a great play by the Muskies to clutch up that round. The crossfire was there. It was necessary. Oath does go down, and they lose the pit, but in the end, it was Wired Up who was there to make those trades, there to reposition. And maybe there was some sort of miscommunication for Albany, where they didn't know where Wired Up was or what the potential rotation could be. And Knowing just went for the defusal without more fighting. I feel like there was definitely a little bit more time to play around and suss out the final attacker in that. But in the end, the Muskies take a fourth and save themselves going on to map point here on Icebox.
Oh man, double Prowler, double blind. Sal just trying to whip as fast as he could. DPI went to 3,000 for a second there. No aim, was able to at least find Kitten in a trade and killed from the opposite corner off of their blind corner. But Rusty playing with a Halo 2 rifle, and it goes just as fast and lethal if you land your shots. Rusty from the top rafter. They're gonna try and make for this retake. There's another 3-on-3. They're looking for just some body parts. They gotta shoot them, and they're gonna run down to just one bullet remaining.
2-on-2 now. They drop down. Might see the rifle.
One enemy remaining.
You've got Rocinante. They were hiding in the corner. But now there's nothing to stop them from going for the defusal. Unless the space is given. Rusty doesn't let that happen. Wired Up, good for 1 kill. But that is it. And now we're on map point here for Icebox. U Albany taking this series by storm, at least this first map by storm. And there isn't much to work with here for this potential final round for the Muskies.
Yeah, they've got a Nightfall that they could be able to press on the site with out of Kitten, and Wired Up has been creative when it comes to kind of maybe their wall placements. You have Rusty with an Odin, so that's about the definition of what you need to know is about to happen into this round, or at least maybe the possible end of this first map of our best of 3 for tonight's showcase of Collegiate Valorant. It will be at least a B lean. They're going to look at what more could be happening from down this pathway. You do have Marshall in hand.
Poison's off.
don't really have very powerful weapons, and they're just trying to see what they can get in terms of a default kill. And oh, Rusty uses that Odin to just end Kitten's career. No Nightfall today.
Yeah, you know it's bad when they're bringing out the Odin. That's just saying we're ending this game here and now. Don't even try it. But Rocinante will give it their best college try. Good headshot, but will it meet the Sheriff of Sal? No. They'll go against each other. Sal doesn't find anything of value here.
Full of extra holes in the body. As Wired Up does get on the site, no aim is revived. That is full power for the Danes. They're at that magical marker to be able to take this map. That toxic screen does fall. Rocinante has the rendezvous if they want to get out of dodge. No aim. Playing with just a little bit of health, and they're trying to be able to get some more intel. Shadow is coming from the shadows. Is able to do such good work. Light work, he calls it, from the backside. Oh, they actually will drop, and that will be a defusal. That'll be map number 1. Icebox goes over to the University of Albany, as they'll make it a nice, fierce, fast 13-4.
Well done by Albany in those final moments, even though they were a bit lower in terms of their firepower. They were still able to take that one down in the end. Just a great deal of utility being dropped. The coordination that we're seeing from Albany certainly is something to be reflected and respected leading up to that 13-4. So Muskies definitely starting off this series with a bit of a struggle. I mean, I'm trying to think of what the main issue was exactly, but if you look at the first round that we had of this map, it led down to an ace, a classic ace from Shadow, and maybe just don't take those ones. Play with your team. Make sure those swings are working together. Always ensure a trade, because that was something that absolutely should not have happened.
Yeah, they were straight up losing the either first contact or direct contact. But if you're able to kind of renegotiate the battlefield, especially when you can reshape it around the sage walls, be able to do the same thing with the toxic screens, they were able to win when it came to a bout of confusion. When they could craft it and force the Danes to come to them, they were doing pretty well. Otherwise, everything was just, executed quite plainly by the Danes, and they were able to run it like a clinic. But we're going to be running away for all of a moments as we take a break from map 1 to map 2. Map 2 coming up. It will be Haven. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup. I am Septilence, and I get a really neat opportunity here. We get to interview Burns from E United. Burns, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We're on day 2 of the event. It's been a fantastic one. I ran into you yesterday, but we were running around like chickens with our heads off, and it has been, how has your time been here? What has this event kind of been like?
Yeah, it's great. I just love being in the passion pit, seeing all the college kids go at it. Reminds me of like an old school MLG event almost, but being like in the epicenter of the passion pit, seeing Rocket League, Valorant, Overwatch, and Smash, it's amazing to see all of these schools compete against each other and get a shot to play on this main stage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And tell us a little bit about kind of what is E United, right? Because we know that you're here, we know you're here to represent them, but for the people that don't know, what is E United?
Yeah, E United was founded in 2016. We're a professional esports organization. We've been in League of Legends, Overwatch, all the way to Battle Right, I think it was called back in the day. Right now in 2022, we are in Gears of War, Halo, Rocket League, PUBG, and announcing a new title tomorrow. I know, get the small intel here. So it's a lot of fun. I went pro in Call of Duty when I was younger. I ended up playing my last event under E United, switched in 2016, and I've been the GM ever since. So it's a true blessing to be able to stay with an organization for as long as I have, and we love giving back to the collegiate community. I actually graduated from Full Sail in 2013.
I was a little confused about the jersey.
Yeah, so the Full Sail boys are out of the tournament, unfortunately, but I decided I would rep them today in their honor. Yeah, it's just great. I love working with younger individuals who are trying to find their path in esports, and these college kids are really showing what they're all about.
Yeah, so to be kind of an ex-pro player, where a collegiate scene at the time didn't exist, especially not to the scale right now, what is it like to see such high levels of success, such high levels of support for something that you weren't able to kind of get as much support in at the time, something that was looked down on a lot more?
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous. That's all I can say. Full Sail started their program in 2017. When I was there in 2011 and 12, it was just a bunch of nerds running around, just creating their own clubs. I was still striving to go pro, but now you have these opportunities to play on main stage, play in front of thousands of people. We just had locals back in the day. You would show up and play for like $200, $100. It was like lunch money.
Right.
Now these kids are playing for scholarships. They're playing for fame. They could pop off here and end up getting a sponsor for $10,000 or $20,000 from somebody.
Right.
So the opportunities are just endless at the moment, and I think it's just great that you know, you basically can prove yourself and make anything happen right now.
It's instead of kind of what you had gone through, being in college and also trying to go pro, these kids can try to go pro while being in college. It's hand in hand instead of those two kind of battling kind of matchups. So if somebody's trying to go pro, right, they're like, Burns, I want to be you one day. I want to be the GM of E United one day. What is that first step to really take it from a hobby to a passion, to a job?
Yeah, I think I've told this story a lot, but it's really, I thought about going pro every night before I went to bed.
Right.
Like, I lived and breathed Call of Duty for years. It was my life. I had to skip dinner sometimes. I had to skip family functions, and my family didn't really understand, but it was what I wanted to do, and it all worked out. But at the end of the day, you always need to kind of be organized. You have to have the ability to not put all of your eggs in one basket. So even though it worked out for me, there are so many opportunities in esports. There's being a caster or interviewing people. There's working in production. There's helping people get waters. Like, literally, there are so many opportunities. So, oh, this crowd's awesome.
They're going crazy, dude. They stayed on their last life right now.
Off subject, Smash, regardless if it's middle school, high school, college, it pops off all the time. I love it.
Well, Burns, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, guys.
Well, my name is Darian Wheeler. I'm a junior at Cornell College, and I play for the Overwatch and Smash Ultimate team there. I also play football, and I enjoy playing Ultimate Frisbee as well.
Wow, how do you have time for all that?
I have no idea.
Just gotta prioritize, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing Overwatch and Smash, you said?
Overwatch, I started playing the summer before I came to Cornell, which was in 2019. And since then, I've gone from bronze to Masters ranking just by being on the team. And Smash, I started when the game first came out, but I haven't played the game competitively until around the end of last year.
And what made you want to start competing?
At the time,
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting ready for our second map tonight. In case you had no idea what we are doing here, it's Valorant time tonight. I know it's Tuesday. Hope you had your tacos as well as your aimers and gamers. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Los. Well, you know, it's kind of a, I didn't want to say that it was a lot of deja vu, but it really felt a lot of the same. Muskies, they fell to the Danes, at least in map number 1, 13-4. But we're moving over to Haven, which is kind of a puzzle box of, you know, dealer's choice of what's going to happen, especially from the attacking side.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that first map a little bit more, is that although it was 13-4, it didn't feel that it was 13-4 based on how the rounds played out. It was usually a hard-fought retake. For the most part, it wasn't a breeze for the Danes. They did have to make those longer plays. It was a more fleshed out game. So it wasn't hit W, win the game, it's all over. So I'm expecting a lot more, maybe slower, methodical plays coming out from the Muskingum to try and elevate that, try and bring it back. So if I was going to make a prediction here, I would say that Muskingum probably going to walk out with minimum 8 rounds if they do not win it in total.
Whew. Well, you and I are getting a treat, as I hope that you are an aficionado when it comes to Pokemon, because we've got electricity and we've got water, as we have Neon and Harbor coming in from the side of the Danes. So this is going to be a weird one. This is going to be about Burst, as I also see a Yoru getting ready to get onto... This is so weird. I have no idea what may happen. It looks like a Phoenix is being hovered as well. There is some confidence, I want to say, being just circulated right now at the University of Albany.
You know, I'm just trying to think, how is this composition going to work? I know a lot of things are being hovered. A lot of things are being swapped around. What is the plan here? What are the ideas that are being brought forth? All I can say is I'm excited. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm excited to see it. But again, I don't know how this is going to go down.
Man, okay, so because I've seen a lot of Breach plus Fade initiator combos on this map. Really big execution. That seems to be completely replaced now, as we will have Harbor, Neon, Breach, Phoenix, and I believe a Yoru. So the trickiest of tricks is, you know, it's the day after Halloween, but apparently we're still running with it with Albany, as they just want to just run it down. It's a little bit more meta heavy on the side of the Muskingum, because they are bringing a Phoenix as well, which I saw them work really well with last time around. EK has switched over in terms of the role. They're going to go over to the initiator with Sky. They in fact do have the Fade for maybe some retake. This is gonna be, I've never seen this for what Albany's bringing to the table.
And I would say for the most part, Monkey Man, nobody has. So it's okay that we feel that way. Start off with a major advance going through grass. Sal wants to run it down, but Wired Up is fired up, taking down 3 as they try to make their entry.
You have that high tide hanging out. There's outside. Yes, I am referencing my notebook because I need to. Interlude is going to try to be able to take some trays. They do drop. This Kitten is able to find him. Curveball finds one, but it will not matter as EK jumps the box. We'll be able to get at least one. So, okay. It is a defensive start for Albany. Maybe they're going to try and just play ultra aggressive off this, because it feels like that's the only way to play with this kind of composition. And they're doing it from a defensive posture, so they're going to just try and maybe run it down a little bit, at least to test the waters, if you will.
Well, they got 3 duelists and an initiator that is essentially a duelist as well. So this is the most interesting composition. And although I said MU was most likely going to play that defaulty, you know, take it flow type playstyle, that's the exact opposite of what Albany want to do. They want to end this quick, and they're going to run it down. They've got pistols, big relay bolts that cause Kitten to fall, unable to bring a response.
Rocinante told Kitten, see you later, as they got out of there in a hurry, and that is now a couple of weapon upgrades. Sal went from being that KO now over to the Neon. That is actually a quick jump step, as they're going to try and just get anyone teased from outside CC. Long has a conga line. You actually have the Yoru up top, and the sandwich of 4 players hanging out in this nice little tight cubby down bottom. They do have a Spectre. Oath is able to at least get rid of one that was lurking on that top end, and Garage has that Sky. So can they be able to continue to control it? The guiding light getting a few extra blinds. EK is able to find another. Oath does as well. Wired Up gets rid of Interlude, and that the Breach will drop. So okay, the attack continues, and it's doing well, mostly because they've received the likes of the Danes and just kind of ran away from it when they could.
Yeah, and to be honest, that wasn't that bad at all for a save round. They wanted to run it down together as a team, pick up as many kills as you can, and 3 frags while they're forced with the Spectres isn't bad at all for you, Albany. Of course, they're still going to lose it, but in this rifle round, you've got 3 pistol wielders for MU.
They're going to have to hang out, and that high tide is such an interesting kind of mechanic. You will have slows that go for every single bit of water that comes out of Harbor. So passing through any of that is a little bit treacherous. It's like a half version of whatever you get from Chambers. You recognize that they're hanging out in that tight corner, able to at least get one. Sal finds Kitten. They're going to be able to make that fast lane and give them an express ticket out of harm's way.
Another interesting... Oh my god! I don't think No Aim even expected that one to work out, but it did. And a third edge shot to follow it up. And I wanted to briefly touch on they do have a little bit more of those line of sight deniers with that fast lane from Sal. So I'm wondering, with those in conjunction, maybe that is enough for this team to have those smokes, to have those walls to keep them safe from vision. I'm not exactly sure how everything will add up. I think it'll be a much better idea when they aren't playing so aggressive. But is that even going to be a case, Monkey Man? I don't know. Maybe that's just how they're playing.
I like that they're playing to the strength of each of the agents, because this is a composition that when they go onto the attack, they're going to be able to dictate pace, tone, everything about how fast they want to get on there, and they're just going to, it's just going to be a bulldozer of energy. When it comes to the defense, they're really playing to like the tip, leaning on their toes. They're not leaning back and being passive about it. You do actually utilize this one off of the fast lane from South to make coming out of sewers a tough venture, and now that guiding light has been able to allow them to get onto site. But under contention, you do have the full height of that high tide. It's gonna keep everyone from seeing if they're coming on full tilt, but no, it's all of a decoy to make everyone rotate away, and so now they're going to start leaning back over to B.
Full-on rotation, and nobody is going to be here to greet them. It'll be a sight for free. And it's been a bloodless round so far. A little bit of damage for Oath, but other than that, everybody's ready for this retake. This 5-on-5 to make it happen. But Shadow gets a little closer, might be able to catch someone off going through garage. Not the case, but it's Oath expending that full run it back for, I guess, just information.
I mean, at that point, you're either looking for a kill or you're looking to just see what more you can do with it. Which, oh, hey, Nightfall, full expenditure. You actually do have the roll. Oh my goodness, everyone just pressing on the side as well as coming in from north side. You have the high tide that's able to just take away all vision down long C. Protection from the Cove to be able to protect for this defusal, and that won't even matter as the retake is done. Just able to use those massive AoE ults. The Nightfall was tried and true for a minute as they were trying to send out Prowlers, but able to just push forward on that breach ult, and no aim led the way.
Yeah, nice commitment and a good trade indeed in terms of the ultimates used. Oath brought out the run it back just to get the information. Could have been a bit more useful on the retake, but hey, you didn't know exactly what you were up against, and the Nightfall later used in a non-combat scenario because it came down to the high tide from Harbor. That denied all information. Sure, you have those trails, but they all go through the waterwall, so there's nothing you can do about it.
Shadow takes a step out and just chooses violence. And that high tide, honestly, keep talking about it, because when you retake, it can deny so many avenues of sight. It's not just a single globe. It is a full-on wall, akin to what you can do with that toxic screen, but it can kind of move on with you. So as one drops up per side, trying to make some good call-outs as they're tied at 2. This is a much better looking start, at least for the Muskies, but that's mostly because experimentation has been the name of the game for the Danes.
No aim. Not even necessary. The assist interlude with that one. Coming in with that full-on retake. Oh my god, the Reckoning put in place, but it's not even enough time for them to use it. I don't even, honestly, Monkey Man, I don't even know what happened with that.
I know that I don't even know if they were getting stunned with it, or if it's just the threat of the stun just making them have to move around too much to get inaccurate. Because that Reckoning full AoE, it will start to pulse, and then if you don't get out of those rings, I think it pings like what, 3 or so times per person that's on site. It will just ruin you, and you basically get stunned the same way that Breach will find you off of a fault line. So you do have Seekers that could get expended here for MU if Muskies want to be able to get maybe some extra intel and also maybe get a push onto site. But those cabbages really not too deadly. This is going to be a fault line that does come out. They're going to try and find some direct damage as they will drop Oath. Phoenix vs Phoenix. They're just going to hang out from default.
Shadow's not going to go down like that. Still wants to take additional duels. However, it's not worth dying on grass. They got their kill. Took it back off. And this has been such a bullying game from you, Albany. I mean, you have 2 rounds for MU, but at the same time, they are rarely given any ground to work with.
Yeah, there's such a fast response to anything that the Muskies want to do, and it's tough because they have every bit of utility that can just abuse these agents as they try to press into any site. Haunt is able to at least identify one, but when you're on a 1-on-5, they're just going to run through you. It is a party in the corner, and everyone is invited. A flawless round, 4 in a row for the Danes.
Beautiful. Esports U flawless here. And it's just pain. It's just pain for MU because they are being assaulted every time. They are playing on defense in their own spawn. And things aren't exactly working. And it's actually great use of walls from Interlude. I was highly skeptical about the viability of Harbor, just because it feels so fresh. But this is actually the first day here in Esports U that he is usable. And we're having great reason, great cause for his play.
Dimensional drifts will be used to try and identify who's in corners. Rusty sees all of one because I think they saw someone trying to run it through that tide, but instead this defense becomes offense. What is a good defense except just an offense that's waiting to happen? Waiting in the corner with a stinger and praying, and that will be at least one that will fall as EK finds someone to kill, but oh my word. I mean, okay. Harbor, I've been told, and I've some fairly good players, above my level, that he's pure controller. If you're playing on the back end of 3 separate duelists, I think the viability jumps, especially with how effective they've been on just getting these blinds, using fault lines, hitting the stuns, and just containing, from the word go, from the spawn, anything that the Muskies want to do.
Oh, okay. Here's a good response. Nice placement of the hot hands to prevent Rusty from walking through, but he's through. Just doesn't have as much backup until it dissipates, and Shadow brings the pain, but it does not come without a price. And all this time, C has been left alone. The site has been taken. The spike is planted.
There'll be no aim that does drop out of it. And he gets right back, says, hey, you stuck in my house. We now have the rolling thunder. Harbor does drop as Interlude. We'll have to wait for Interlude between rounds to come back. Now you have to run it back by Oath. Able to find one. They will go back to spawn outside of that cubicle. And now the hot hands coming out. They will not be able to heal themselves off of it. Faking the defusal. Will they wait? Oh, they wait for the wall bang. Don't even actually find it. They find their foot hopping around that gap. And that, even with just a little bit of HP, is still the 6th in a row. Albany, it's built off of just swagger with the success they're finding.
It doesn't even feel like there's plays being executed here, Monkey Man. It just seems that they all have... It's not a play. It's a vibe. They're vibing right now, and the vibe is attack. It doesn't matter if you die. Just keep on going. We're gonna be okay. And the trust off of each other, the fact that they can run into it, play off each other's bodies, and still come out on top, and still force FU into these fights. I mean, it just speaks bounds of the trust this team has with each other.
It also speaks of just taking your map 1, thinking, you know what, we're fine. Best of 3, let's experiment. Let's see what it can happen. Rocinante has said not today, at least not right now, as the Tour de Force does find another bullet hole to put through. That is a lot of converse type strategy as well as just damage happening. That's another 3K as Rocinante is hanging out outside of window. The stun is going to try and find more. We do have trademark, but they're going to fake it out with that fast lane that they're going over to mid. But he's going to be looking all the way behind him. I think he might be out of those Tour de Force bullets. So this is going to be Sal versus the world.
Spike planted.
Oh, really not sure of where they may take the spike. It's going to be C. And they're in this 1v2. Looking exactly down long. That's where they want them to come from. That's exactly what MU is hoping for. They'll play off each other. Platform and default find the boxes. And that must be like the worst timing, or maybe just a flex, a taunt even. Saying, hey, come in here, you want to peek me? Well, that's what happens when you taunt the bear, you poke it. Rocinante picks up a 4K, the best use of an ultimate so far throughout this map, and a third round for the Musk.
Yeah, it's wired up as top of the stack, but still it's all less than 500 KD for everyone. So they do have a Nightfall that they could get again used to just get themselves on the site. You got to run it back as well as Overdrive. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Or I barely remember half of it. But regardless, they can be able to get real chippy with it, and Sal has been making sure to take ownership of mid up to B. Just get into grass. There's a lot of util that's being thrown at them, and it's just about survival for the Muskies. Can they be able to win this trade? No. Sal's brought the fight to them, and there's only one remaining, and it's going to be wired up that finds the floor. So they drop one person, and it becomes 7-3.
They can't even defend in their own spawn.
No.
Even if they're working with all of their utility, they're being outgunned, outmaneuvered. It's also some great movement that we're seeing from Sal. The ability to just dodge, counter strafe into their opponents, specifically on Oath. And it's just starting to feel unfair at this point.
It's one of those where, like, if you were playing Overwatch, you're just getting absolutely spawn camped straight up in your house. You're just trying to go between different champs, see if you can even begin to play the game. Right now, I don't think the Muskies have been allowed to do much of that. Firewall does go up to allow straight entry by the Muskies. Gonna work all the way into hell. That operator in good hands from heaven. Can't quite get one, so this will be... Uh-oh, the Reckoning coming out. A fault line to stun. You have super stuns all over the map, and the rings will be able to get multitudes of those. Hanging out in hell. They force him away. Hot hands beyond the box. Wired Up is actually going to hang on to this tight angle, and they're going to have massive amounts of Overwatch. And for those crossfire angles, but it's Sal that's coming in to ruin the party.
There was just nothing they could do coming out from all angles, especially with this flank from Sal. They were so focused on that retake. The Reckoning as well is just that constant pressure mounting. Side note, amazing observing. That constant mounting of pressure that you are dulled in your thinking of where are they going to come from? I have to stay alive. I'm getting stunned again. I can't move. Where are they going to come from? You know, it's all of that put together in one moment that it can break you, and it can leave you wondering, where is the flank coming from? Is somebody going to watch the flank? The answer, no. And Sal, with the movement, picking up the 2K to close it out is just icing on the cake.
Oh, we have not seen the Cascade, at least yet. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. By the way, if you guys like Citrus and maybe the observation, make sure that you ask all your observing tips from Lemon. They've been pretty good about it. Oh, Shadow, getting right back to work. EK is able to find at least No Aim, who has been a huge weapon for the Danes. Off that running back, they drop. Shadow is able to find Wired Up, so Phoenix does survive, and they're able to run it down as Sal gets rid of EK.
You know, for a moment, I thought that was both Sal, but that first kill was from Interlude. So, still impressed by that play, but not as impressed, Monkey Man. It looked like that was just the one-tap transfer of a lifetime. Well, no, it was actually just Interlude from off camera.
So, you know, we're going to give all the credit to who we saw on camera, because, I mean, it looked cool, right? Just, it looked fantastic. But right now, we do flip halves, so I want to know where the Wrecking Ball is going to go. This team in UA is an absolute smash and dash. Just they're going to go into anywhere they want, throw all the util in the world, and it is going to be an absolute mess. So hope that the Muskies are ready to receive it. It looks like that we are favoring C because of our short-range weaponry, and maybe anything slow down this titanic ball of thunder of the Danes.
Full-on utility wall, blocking off anybody to the right, and follow with the fault line. Whoever's on the wrong side of the water, either you're getting shot, you're getting stunned, everything in between. A bloodless execute, and now they've got the site to themselves.
It is such a wonderful little utility As you're able to just protect everyone, especially because it's basically a shield. Actually, it full-on is 4-on-4. Bit of blindness. Sal's going to hang on to this tight corner with a frenzy. They're actually going to advance up into it. Ooh, but they will get their life as Wired Up is able to re-peek. Interlude finds Rocinante. Short little duel, and this will actually be a defusal for the Muskies. It was a bloodless execute, but their blood will flow the greatest here in the first round of the second half. Not dissimilar to what happened in the first half.
It seems that holding the site might be a bit of an issue for them, as they were great at taking space away from their opponents, but when there's an option for a retake, when they could take different avenues rather than being forced to fight inside of grass, inside of window, or a lobby, now there's more options for MU to work around, and it may be a little bit more difficult, and the coordination in terms of using all those abilities on the execute, it may not be there. They've never had to worry about those extended engagements because the rounds were over so quickly.
Cover going out. Because now you have the dark cover for Kitten that really can kind of give them better engagements for longer, especially off of that passive. Oh, that'll be Shadows. Drop Rusty's able to make good use of a stinger that they buy up into, take down Kitten. And this is some counter aggression, not dissimilar from what we saw before. Interlude's able to get a wallbang with a stinger, a phrase I never thought I would say. This is a 1-on-3, waiting on him from this corner. Rocinante, oh, will be dropped.
Won't be able to last that long. And if that was a win, that would have just been illegal. If Interlude comes out with that 3K to win it out, would have been absurd. Now we're back to reality, and nobody has enough money to bring rifles to the table. It is the bonus round, so we got some Stingers, some Spectres, and actually a commitment of a buy from Kitten, but they just want to pile on the beatdown. And this is a moment where MU can start to close that gap. They're already faring better than they have on Icebox, beating that round by at least 1. Looking to make it 6-9.
Very wise choice to get out of dodge when it comes to that tight hold, especially because there was going to be a lot of weapons in you. But you have, the shorty at least gets Oath out of commission. Rocinante trades out Sal, and everyone's just playing from window inside of Garage. Interlude may find multiple, but not with a crossfire. Wired Up hits him with a stinger. So they get 3 in a row. So bit of an overcommit when it came to the first buy. So we should be seeing some real rifles, maybe some weird saves, and this, yeah, like you said, Muskies, they make up some distance here. How much of this, I guess this maybe, I'm not gonna call it a meme pick. I said that out loud, so I did say it. But how much of this mega aggro composition lends itself to Albany to now, with maybe better weaponry, to reestablish being more dominant, especially with taking and then finally holding site?
Well, this off-meta composition is definitely lending itself to aggressive plays, and I think it wants to find more kills in the site take itself. So I'm thinking that's where they really want to focus. MU might be reading into that. Go for the retake. Don't take those initial fights. Fight on our terms, and they won't have the abilities or the utility to stop us from coming back in.
It does drop as No Aim is able to find him up in heaven, sends him right back there as well. A couple now gained. Oath. Interlude. A bad interlude for them. Interlude again, another as they drop EK. Oh, a quick turn! Rocinante trying to be a hero, but No Aim takes care of business. They're going to have a rolling thunder going to the next round, and that will be the Danes that are able to acquire double-digit rounds first again.
You know, I was talking about the utility being used, but that was straight No Aim, diffing them, 3 of them taken down by the Breach player, and I don't think any of it, or majority of them, fall from Flashpoint or just straight up utility usage. So when that was an even playing field, a gunfight, they take that one in spades. In another situation, it's C-site, no one there directly, so what is the plan? It also comes off a fault line that stops this tour de force from being effective.
Oh! Well, He got it before. He'll be pushed off into the corner, maybe in a corner for right now. But just before, just aiming down the hellscape that is a Rolling Thunder. Oh, but Sal ruins it. The curveball aiming to blind him, but Sal's too quick with it. And so now you've got a couple of flashes. They're able to control out from CT. EK is trying to do the same thing. A spray down into box, looking for wall bangs on that tightest of walls right there. But just not to be, as they do utilize Cove to protect themselves for now.
Well, stuck inside the Cove, but it doesn't matter.
One enemy.
Got this angle held as long as Interlude can keep it together, and they do. It'll be Albany. The Danes continuing the danger zone. It's 11-6. And that was another retake attempt. But what happened was that UA didn't leave it to a retake. They didn't leave it to chance. They wanted to get a little more aggressive and tighten, limit the options that MU has for that retake. That's why you had Sal push up, get that double spray down. You had Interlude waiting, denying the vision from Garage with the Cove and sticking inside of it, making it a constant threat. So they were unable to make it happen. Now, only 2 rounds away from potentially taking the series.
I suggest you move. Christmas surprise around every single corner, and those are the gifts you do not want. The Reckoning does come out, and I'll be reckoning that this is going to be pushing into a full control of sight for A. They're actually already moving it in, seeing if they can take away anyone that gets aggressive in connector. Hot Hands does come up. The Cascade is going to push and slow anyone that does try to get counter-aggressive. Kitten is at least thinking about it. That Prowler coming out from up tight, but it's going to be Oath and Rocinante. They're finding full value off of these flanks. No aim is left to the ground, but Rusty, that bomb is down. They've got to be able to find these angles in a hurry. Does O see him first? Able to turn one from boxes. Will they be able to counter strafe? No! Where are you looking? What? Oh my goodness! Rusty's able to do it all himself! Where in the world was that second man looking?
Match point.
Oh my lord, there must have been some sort of miscommunication to allow 3 individual shots from Rusty playing that angle perfectly. I had major doubts in terms of him being able to clutch this one out, especially with where the spike is located. You can go for that defusal. You don't have to take the fight to Rusty. If you play with your teammate, you have it in the bag, wired up. Not sure where they were looking, but it must have been either a bad call or something, because that should not have been a back turn to the Yoru. 12-6. Map and series point.
EK died in that corner, and wired up may not have heard comms or anything, but they thought that they died because of a super push. Oh, and Oath was able to get at least some great value as Shadow comes back from the run it back, but only to get a bullet in the brain. This is aggression from the defensive position of the Muskies, and they're saying, we're not done yet. It's a tough venture. We're here to climb the hill, but no aim is there to thrill. They get one. Off the wall bang, though, comes EK, and this will be a defusal. Muskie's still fighting.
Not going to be another 3K clutch here. We'll stay alive. FMU taking their 7th round. And this is looking to be a little bit better. But all these rounds, all these attacks are disjointed. It feels that, again, we're not watching a plan take place. Everybody is just running in and going at their own flow. But in this time, MU, Muskies, they find the kill. They deny that clutch. They play together. And that is what's most important. Also, you got to talk about picking up those 2 easy kills down mid.
Yeah, that ruined everything. Shadow was able to, you know, they went out, they had a nice little field trip, and then they came back to die. That's pretty much how that worked. Quick shock, not going to happen, as everyone is pushed off site. C has been the easiest, I would say, in terms of utility execute for University of Albany to do. Overdrive is coming into play, going in round garage. And have that one in their hand. Electricity burning, but long lurk. Able to get rid of one. Kitten trying to be able to make it from long, and they actually upgrade to be able to get a Vandal as well. And this is everyone kind of fanned out from CT.
Interlude has the Cove left, and no aim. Going up against that run it back. Reloads in the line of fire. And this is gonna be an issue. South showing themselves just for a moment, just to be caught by that haunt and secure a kill, and it didn't even get half. Oh, they don't have time, but they do have a chance if they can win out that final duel, but it can't be done, and UA will take the series 2-0.
13-7. And just making it look fun, honestly. This is a team that you were saying it didn't look like they had a plan. I can't wait to ask them that kind of stuff, but they just had confidence in each other and just their aim game. Anytime that this was left up to just a straight up duel, it was proven that the Danes were there to just win it. And I mean, there needs to be a little bit of extra comms, maybe the better call outs. EK definitely died in a strange corner, but Wired Up was so focused on sewers that was able to give that quick turnaround to make that 3K happen on side A. But this is just Danes having a good time, honestly, just playing with each other and enjoying some good Valorant.
Hey, we were talking about we haven't seen that Harbor being brought into play. Maybe that's the same situation for MU. So that's why when it was first being thrown at them while they were in the spawn, they weren't sure how to deal with it. But I think as time went on, they were definitely able to learn and punish Albany for their mistakes, for their over-aggression, because they did perform better in this second map. They did gain an extra 3 rounds. But also, if we're talking about First Bloods, we gotta talk about Shadow. They were popping off on Icebox. They were popping off on Haven. 7 First Bloods just by themselves.
Man, they start the entire series with an ace, and they're able to make sure no one ever forgot about the lethality they can constantly bring to every single map. And they're the first one that finds you each time. They were getting outside garage, and they were turning it into their entire career. Just quick curveball, see who's there, and pop ahead. But, we will be popping ahead to a short break as we're looking for an interview from maybe some of our winners. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
Him, and it was not pretty. It was we got stomped into the dirt, and so that I didn't like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna play better, and I'm gonna figure out how to beat someone like that, because that was not fun.
And what have you done to get better at the game? Like, what kind of strategies do you use?
We have weekly practices. We have Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We practice. I play by myself, of course. I go to tournaments. And from these tournaments against good players, I take the film that I get and I VOD review it, learn what I could have done better, and figure out things like positioning, usage of abilities, that type of thing.
So, what do you think about your team? How does it feel to be a part of an esports team? And do you guys all get along? Are you guys friends?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. We if we're all in the room together, we're just joking around. Which sometimes makes it hard to practice because it's very hard. It's hard to get serious when it's really goofy like that. But I love being on the team. It's like one of the reasons I stayed on the esports team, because we had a director change. Despite the director change was because I just love the team.
That's really good. You guys support each other and all that. That's awesome. You said you've gone to competitions and stuff. Well, how often do you think you game a week? How many hours do you think you play a week?
Maybe over 24, maybe 30 hours. It's a lot of time.
You play Smash and Overwatch. Which one do you like better and why?
I like Smash better. One, fighting games have always been my thing before shooters, so that's part of it. And I'm much better at Smash than I am at Overwatch. Overwatch is more of a team-based game, so your individual performance matters a lot less. But Smash, everything that you do, it's all on you, so you can always improve on that.
And I know you've been to competitions and stuff before, but do you still get nervous when you're about to compete, or are you pretty confident?
Oh man, yeah, I get nervous still. It depends though. I usually have music playing, calm my nerves, but especially if I'm going against a player who I know is very high ranked, very well known, very good. In tense situations, I'll always I just get nervous, and it just doesn't go well if that happens. But yeah, I still get nervous.
Yeah, I think that's natural though. Are there any specific teams or schools that your team kind of watches out for or that you really want to beat?
Iowa State, their team is crazy. So they have most of the top ranking players in Iowa. So those guys they have a big target on their backs.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you think about CECC, and do you think your team will go to Atlanta?
Currently, our team we're going over a massive overhaul because we're down a lot of players due to transfers and other things, but it's still possible. I think we can do it.
Okay, yeah, we hope to see you there. um, Backtracking a little bit, what are you studying in school? What's your major?
Biochemistry.
Okay, geez, you do it all. What the heck? What do you plan to do with biochemistry? And do you ever see any overlap between what you're learning in school and esports?
My initial plans were to possibly go into medicine, but I'm leaning more towards biochemical research. So I don't know if that overlaps somehow, but if it can, that'd be great.
Would you ever want to be an esports coach?
Of course. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, when you're not doing medicine and you find time between football and the ultimate frisbee, maybe you can be an esports coach.
I'll find time to do it all, I guess.
Yeah. Are there any players on your team that stick out to you, whether it be a success story, their growth, or even yourself, that you want to talk about?
Let's see. Well, of course, myself is a good success story, I guess. Because when I joined the Smash and Overwatch team in 2019, I was garbage. Like, it was bad. Like I said earlier, I was bronze rank in Overwatch, which lowest possible rank. It's terrible down there. And then from there, I went to Masters, which is the second highest rank, which is just ridiculous. And then in Smash, I was also bad. So, and now I'm one of the top ranking players in Iowa. So it's pretty good.
So, what has been your proudest moment or specific moment? I know you jumped ranks there, but has there been any specific moments in a game or tournament that really you're proud of?
It was last year during we had a Smash tournament, Smash Ultimate tournament. It was a Wi-Fi tournament. To qualify for the national part of it, we needed to beat this one school, and the school had some really good players. Like I think they had a Link player, and I forget the rest of them. But we were losing. I fumbled hard. I lost all 3 stocks, and I didn't take any. It was bad. And then my team rallied, and we beat them, and the whole room exploded. It was fantastic. Everyone was jumping all over the place. It was a great time.
Let me imagine the energy. That's really awesome. So my last question for you is, do you have any goals for the rest of this school year that you want to accomplish?
Well, for Overwatch, I do want to rank up again. I want to get GM. And for Smash Ultimate, I want to get a higher rank. I think so. In East Iowa, I'm ranked I think 4th or 3rd, but I want to be 1st. I want to be the top of the ranking. I don't like being under 2 other people. It doesn't feel right.
Well, I'm sure you can do it. Is there anything that you would like to add about your team or you before we go? Anything you want the world to know about you?
Join our team. We're great people. I don't know.
Good. That's good. Well, thank you again so much for your time and doing this interview with me and fitting me in your schedule of all the stuff you have going on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
You too.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting into an interview with one of our players on the winning side of tonight's Valorant action. Again, I'm Hail Monkman in the booth alongside Los, but you don't care about us. You care about the winner over from the side of the University at Albany with the Danes. It is one of the main players, and Sal. Sal, thank you so much for joining us in the booth. Tell us all about it, the vibes, everything kicked off with an ace out of Shadow. I mean, what'd you guys come in with a plan just for him to pop off tonight?
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty surprised. I thought that round was like completely lost for us. And then all of a sudden, like Shadow, his name is Carter. He was just working his way around yellow the entire time, and I don't know. Somehow he managed to isolate 5-1s. So everyone on my team was super stoked about that.
Definitely tell that the vibes were high. So a regular composition that we saw on Icebox, but what was going on with Haven? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Icebox is one of the maps that we scrim the most. I think Ascent was our first choice, but it got banned, and then Icebox are second most. So we had the most practice on that in this series. We also had a sub coming in for one of our players today, so um, I wanted to I wanted to have fun with the comp, but also like make it comfortable for everyone and have everyone on the same page because like these agent lineups, they're very important, but it's more of like having everyone have the same idea as you and having the same game plan for every single round.
And that's what led to that. What was it? I would say triple duelist. I think. Let me double check. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had why that's such an unorthodox thing. It's just because it's comfortable.
So okay, Haven is sort of like it's a playground, right? It's a utility playground. So like basically like a lot of team compositions would work on Haven, and I think like when Optic pioneered the neon comp like a while back, I just wanted to try out like just having fun making my own comp and seeing if it worked. And we included Harbor in, so we built a comp around like retakes and pushing for mid control, and we got mid control most of the rounds, if not all, I believe. So yeah, that was the premise behind it.
Makes sense. I mean, how did you work Harbor into your lineup? Like, how does he fit in? Such a fresh agent.
So Harbor is actually very different from other controllers. I would actually like fit him more towards an initiator of sorts. I feel like his smoke playstyle is very dynamic and it's really good for like retakes or pushes, but it's not good for holds. That's a problem. So like incorporating Harbor into one part of the map, you need to be very like active with it. So like you can't be stationary with him. You have to either be moving towards them like all the time or disengaging or like going for retake. And that's what we did.
Oh, you did it well, and you treated that entire map like it was a playground, and you definitely had fun out there. And I mean, if you were looking for movement, literally Neon, Phoenix, the run it back, run it down, the rolling thunder, you just turn into a wrecking ball out there. So you're able to take a nice 2-0 and win tonight, and so you guys are still undefeated over there at UA. So that's got to feel really good. How about any shout-outs for yourself, your fans, your friends, maybe some family out there that's been able to kind of continue supporting you guys through this undefeated run?
Just shout out, same as last time. Shout out to each of my teammates that showed up. They show up every single time. They pull up the wins. I can't do it by myself, obviously. Shout out to UWYO Esports staff and everyone watching the stream.
I mean, hey, you know what? You say you can't do it. 3Ks speak differently, but you guys did pull off an amazing clinic of good work. It is a university at Albany. The Danes are able to take tonight's 2-0 over the Muskingum Muskies, and you know what? Job well done, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, Los, we got to have a nice, quick, short, sweet clinic of great Valorant from the side of the Danes, and they look like they're going to continue running it down until someone is going to, just maybe ultimately stop all that fun momentum.
Yeah, 6-0. Not a bad scoreline to continue, and still undefeated, and they've given us good reason why they have that scoreline. But hey, still got 2 more weeks in regulation season, so there's still plenty of time, or at least 2 weeks worth of time. Bracket round, maybe take down the Danes, but that will not be today.
Now, for the remainder of this evening, we appreciate you guys being able to join us for Esports U, as we will actually be having some follow-up with some Rocket League. I hate to cast that sometimes, but it won't be me doing it, neither Los, though it's been really fun to cast for the first time with you, man. We will, in fact, be having Pyro J and Shiksa that will be leading the way for some Mountain West action between Fresno State and Colorado State. If you want to be able to check out that and more, it's going to be coming up around the 10 o'clock EST hour, EDT, whichever daylight savings time, which, by the way, this weekend is ending, so make sure to set your clocks accordingly. For the time being, though, good production on the side of Coltoon as well as observing by Lemon. We'll be back in just a little bit for some Rocket League, but for right now, we're taking a break. We'll see you next time.
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the
How
storm.
does
Community 0.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient, in my opinion. Tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, 1 billion impressions and 1 million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community let's just start with on campus?
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time those Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the 3rd month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that. It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences. And if we're talking explicitly about fandom, you have to make the students on your campus care about the team first. That's the biggest thing. Either you create a level of pride through community engagement, or through the team itself. At a lot of schools, the groundwork is there for this. Like, there are schools like UBC, Ohio State, with Buckeye Gaming Collective, that have clubs that number in the 2 to 3,000 range, right? So they have a base to begin with. At a school like Maryville, like, we kind of developed it the opposite way. When I came in and started building our esports program, we had 3 kids in our esports club. And so we've kind of built the team, and then the club has followed, which is kind of the opposite for a lot of schools. But I think that we have to develop tribalism, and that starts with meaningful live events. And the more that these events, the longer that these events continue to be like only online, the less effective it is in creating that final goal.
Agreed. Doc, you wrap it up for us, please.
I would just say this: clubs ebb and flow based on their leadership. But if all students, all clubs, all groups are given regular and meaningful invitations to come in, use the space, create what you want out of this, then it will continue to thrive despite the change in leadership. I can just imagine that Cincy student group with Chris heavy in the leadership there just being amazing. But there's not always someone with his skill set at the helm. So you just need to be open and look for opportunities to serve, even though it can be more difficult, especially in the scheduling of the space. I know a lot of people that don't like anybody else but the players they're recruited to use their space. As much as we can, if we want to build community, we have to open the space to people that we wouldn't normally see in there and let them do the types of things that they want to do.
One more thing, so like on a national level, though, if we want to raise the general viewership of all of collegiate esports and not just different pockets, that's a hard one, because people watch esports to see people do stuff that they're better than them at, right? So naturally, at the collegiate level, we're going to be at a lower level than pro. So it's hard to get people to watch for that reason. But what we can sell are narratives and storylines, matchup histories. And as we start to build a longer history of collegiate esports, I actually truly believe that some of the CLOL storylines are more rich than what exists in Academy and
100%.
and the LCS, but no one's really covering it. No one's really drilling down into it. No one's creating narrative content. So I think that that's the key to getting people to care about it. Like, if there's a storyline, people attach themselves to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing before we end. The largest organizations on any university campus. This is a very blanket statement. Could be wrong for you. It's right for many. Campus ministry and Greek life are always the largest groups on campus. Why? It's because of the concept of family. Let me explain. With a club or a program, many people identify, oh, I am a gamer, but I am also A, B, C. And usually it's I am A, B, C, and I'm also a gamer. Not everyone is a gamer first and foremost. And you're only going to capture that population if you're promoting purely competitive and purely esports. And so I said food nights and social activities. I'm really stealing from campus ministry and Greek life, because what you want to do to build community at your school is to make it so that the thing that you're doing is the number one thing in the students' lives. Now, that's a very selfish thing to say, but it's a true statement. For you to grow the largest community, your community needs to feel that the thing that they're a part of is the most important part of their social campus experience. That's why Greek life is so successful. That's why campus ministry is so successful. And when you treat esports as a program of just competition, practice, and development, that's an outlet. That's not a way of life. Not for at scale. Not when 55% of the campus body at a Division I school identifies as a gamer in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to touch that 55%. You're going to touch 5%, maybe. probably going to touch 0.05% or 0.5% at a Division One school. And so what you really need to do is build that community authentically by, as Doc said about Dan, what are the people prioritizing, and do that. And how do they enjoy their life? What would they find meaningful? Do that. And then do everything else, because the financials and everything else, the planning and all that matters too. And that's why we have a talent problem in Scholastic Esports. But I will wrap up and say, for the national level, Dan's completely right on narrative. But I'm not worried about that, because the only thing we need to build community nationwide is just time.
Mm-hmm.
We are 2 generations away from critical mass. And all it takes is that the current generation of students to grow up, get in the professional workforce, and have kids and raise them on the things that they were fans of. That's how baseball grew. It's how basketball grew. It's how rugby and all those other sports grow and sustain.
Cornhole grew.
But in all seriousness, all we need is time. All we need to do is ensure that our products get better, our opportunities become more authentic, accessibility remains open, and monetization remains enough to us to continue to what we're doing and grow.
First, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so my name is Caitlin. I'm a part of Farmingdale State College's Esports Club. I am captain of the Valorant Green Team. I am a second semester sophomore at Farmingdale State College, and I'm 19 years old.
Okay. Do you like Farmingdale so far?
Yeah, it's really great. The program I'm in is very specialized, and it's not offered that often in the East Coast, so it's pretty nice. I enjoy it.
And what's your major?
My major is aerospace professional pilot degree.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So, is this your first time on an esports team?
No, so I've been a part of the Valorant team for 2 semesters, and this is my 3rd semester, and it's my first time ever being a captain.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like being a captain?
So a lot of times I'm organizing the team, making sure everyone is properly set for upcoming games, um, getting scrims for our team, and kind of just making sure everyone is there, present, and possible, and able to play the games that we're gonna, be participating in. We're participating in 2 leagues this semester, so it's kind of hectic.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, definitely. I can see that. How is it different for you as a player versus as a captain? Do you feel a lot of responsibility?
I basically have the responsibility of choosing who, really plays, what type of characters everyone's playing, and what positions and roles we are all doing, as well as being there not only as a team member, but also being seen as in a leadership role and having that sort of respect there, and being able to delegate everyone's role in the team. So it's definitely a lot more different, and my voice is most definitely heard. So I like it. I like being a captain.
Yeah, that's really good. What games do you play, or what is your main game? I know you mentioned Valorant.
Right. So I play Valorant, but I started off with Counter-Strike, and I really always have been interested in FPSs. So that background has always been there. So my transfer onto Valorant was pretty easy.
That's cool. What have you done to improve yourself in game over time?
So one thing for my teams especially, I have open communication where we're able to really give our constructive criticism without taking offense. And me as a captain, especially it being my first semester, I find it really important that everyone is able to come to me and communicate like, hey, Kate, I don't know how I feel about doing this, or I want my voice to be heard about this specific thing. And just basically taking into consideration everyone's voice and having that open line of communication is really helpful. And that's something I find really important.
Okay. Do you carry that strategy into your everyday life as well, would you say?
Yeah, communication is really important to me, especially in aviation with crew members. You're always trying to communicate properly and efficiently to get the assigned goal completed, and that works in video games as well as in aviation. So I feel like it transfers very well, and I put my 100% effort in everything I do. I put 100% in the team, the leagues that we're participating in, communicating with opposing teams that we might be going against. All those things I take it really important and can transfer it very well into everyday life.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you think about CECC and just competing in general?
It's a lot of fun, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to participate. And this is something that every single member of our team has said. We've never had the opportunity to really compete in a fashion where it's not only fun, we're able to make friends, talk to other people from different schools. It's just an amazing opportunity and something we would love to participate in the future as well.
Yeah, we're really happy you feel that way. When your team is competing with other teams, are there any specific teams or schools that your team kind of looks out for?
I think we all have the mentality of it doesn't matter who the other team is. We're gonna put 100% effort, and we're going to maintain our mental, even if the other team is full of radiance. It's not something we're gonna keep in mind because we will be able to beat them. Fingers crossed.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good mindset. As you probably know, March is Women's History Month, and you being a woman in esports, how do you think that has an effect on esports? What does it mean to you to be a woman in esports and as a captain? Just could you talk about that for a little bit?
Coming into being a woman in aviation, which is already really a niche type of thing, especially women in video games, things like that. It's just we're kind of the minority, and keeping that in mind, a lot of times you have to represent yourself properly because you are representing such a small community. So I feel proud and honored to be a part of the women's in aviation as well as being a woman in esports, and it's a lot of fun, and just understanding that us girls are here too and we're as good as everyone else, and that we have the opportunity to be a leader in esports, and that we're equal to everyone. It's really important to keep that in mind because we're here even though you might not see us too often.
I know you said as captain your voice is heard, but when you first started to be a captain, did everyone take you seriously being a girl? Was that respect there, or did you struggle with that?
So I would say initially when I first got on the team, I was put onto a support role, and everyone knows that women normally play healer when it comes to going into any game, and now I'm playing more of a controller based or sentinel, which is very crucial for holding down sites. So by playing that now and then having those semesters in my backpack of experience, everyone has treated me with respect, and uh, I would hope it stays that way. And either way, I demand respect because I reciprocate that respect to everyone else. So it's definitely difficult, especially for girls starting out. That toxicity is there, especially even now. Whenever I play a game without my team there, that toxicity is there just for being a girl. But as long as you don't have that mindset of them affecting you because you're better than them anyway, it's fine.
Definitely. Well, that's good. I'm happy that you're getting respect that you deserve, and that's awesome. And thank you so much again for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Well, welcome in, one and all. This is Esports U. We're here with the Mountain West Rocket League action, and Chixa and I have the pleasure of casting Fresno State University versus Colorado State. Again, this is a rematch of the Mountain West Conference, Chixa, and it was a great match last time, so I think we got a good one again.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about two teams that are very high up in their league right now. And Fresno State, last time we played them, we watched them. They won both of their series. They played back-to-back. They slaughtered, in a sense, by winning both games. And we had Regicide come in and do 2 interviews with us. Maybe we'll get another one today. But nonetheless, I'm excited to be back in the booth with you, back here, and back watching them in this Mountain West Conference.
Absolutely. Yeah, Regicide with that double header, double interview. Maybe we'll make it triple tonight. Who knows? But, Colorado State, they're going to be looking for that rematch, that revenge tour here. Both teams pretty highly rated here in the Mountain West Conference. Not quite at that one spot. Boise State has that locked in with their undefeated standings, but definitely 2 hunters here in their conference alike. So, folks, we can talk about it all we want, but the best of 5, the action's ready, players on the field, 5 minutes on the clock for game number 1. So, Colorado State, do they have what it takes to make a revenge tour, or will Fresno State stay on top?
Certainly a lot of questions to be asked. I speculated with you a little bit earlier before we started if Colorado State possibly had a different roster from last time. I can't exactly remember who we saw last time, but it could be, maybe, they almost find that first blood goal. It just barely bounces it away, and Fresno State for now will not bleed. A little bit surprising that we get so many chip shots early, but it just shows how aggressive both teams are starting out.
Yeah, it feels like they got first blood with those 2 demolitions, right? It already got violent, but then the shot never came and went in. So it kicked off that left post. Precision, it's a lot about warming up in these Rocket League series. You got to get some of those missed shots out of the way early on, but I'll tell you what, the teams that come out hot, they're going to be the ones big swinging at the start. They will be better off, most certainly. So Demo's definitely clearing the lanes for CSU right now, but those shots got to find their way between the uprights.
I'm really surprised that this is not the normal feeler out match we get. It has been pedal to the metal, shots coming through off the post, finishes possibly coming through for Shu. Colorado State does indeed get that first damage.
Yeah, see, this is a revenge tour. It has to be. Look at the way they're crashing the boards. They're not giving up on the play. Every player right now on the field has 1 registered shot, and we're barely a minute past in this first game. We talked about being in for a good one, hoping that, Chicks. I think we most certainly are.
I'm so happy to see Colorado State functioning on all cylinders right now. They have not looked scared or really unstoppable right now. They have just continued to push on the pressure, and FSU really hasn't been able to get out of their half for longer than a couple seconds, maybe a clear or two to bring that ball towards the other end, but it looks like Halo will find another shot for Colorado State. They get 2 and maintain their lead.
They're getting all clumped up on their back line here for Fresno State. You see the diving defender of Regicide sees that Laylox isn't going to be able to turn from the near post in enough time. Colorado State, I mean, this is quickness on their offensive side, and they're not letting up one single bit. Look at this pass from the backboard. Laylox, that's dangerous territory to put that in. The defensive measures from Fresno State have to be a little more calculated because some of these clears looking weak, and like prime opportunity for Colorado. That shot right off the crossbar, it actually lands in from downtown.
Luck, skill, whatever it be, Fresno State desperately needed a goal on the pitch, and they find it. A little bit of an exclamation point with that bounce. Laylox will find the first goal that they need to start their own comeback, but certainly it comes with a nice clear. If Colorado State has been so aggressive, they tend to overcommit more than 2 people upfield. That leaves your back end open and susceptible to those clearing touches that can be on target. Great job for Laylox to find that goal and that opportunity. We'll see if they can find another, because Colorado State looks like they want that one back.
I think so. Yeah, you wonder if it hinders their offense now that they had to pay for their risky, aggressive offensive strategy. I don't think it does. I think, hey, 2-1, it's still earning them a lead. They're still going to press up as much as they can. And you know what? If it's a risky maneuver and they get a cleared goal on the opponent's side, then so be it. Right now, though, they're not getting the same stifling pressure as they had earlier. Hyena 50 to the corner, trying to keep this possession going. It's a pass out to Laylox, actually in position for that shot. It just goes by the wayside. Shot precision's got to be there. It's there for Regicide, still turned away for Super Turtle, and Shu should find a lane out.
We need that difference maker to come alive again for Fresno State. We saw it as Hyena in one game, Regicide in a different game 2 weeks ago, but it's been mainly just Laylox, with that only goal to show for Fresno State. somebody needs to come out on top. Maybe the coach needs to make more mentions. They got a pizza party, I think, last time, and some root beer floats. They need a little extra encouragement to get started, because it's certainly been slow for them. As for Colorado State, we'll see if they may just get another one. I think this roster is different than last time. I mean, I can't know for certain, but it just seems like if it isn't a different roster, this team has gotten so much better in 2 weeks.
Well, certainly feels like it. A 1-goal lead could be enough to win this first game. So important in this very close, quick series of just a best of 5. Hyena trying to beat out every player there. The midfield pass broken up by Halo. Saw it coming the whole way. They showed their cards, and the interception was made for Colorado State. They're trying to come around the corner to once again keep that pressure going, shave more seconds off this clock. 2-1. It could be the final score unless Laylox has some response. Reset doesn't go far enough, but FSU on that final attack.
Laylox will come in just to lay, but Regicide, the cut, almost finds the ball on target. A huge clear for Colorado State, and that's all they're trying to do to hold on. Regicide doesn't find the touch, but a good 50 here. The corner, the ball just needs to touch the ground, and it does. Colorado State to take game 1.
There it is, 2-1 does end up being the final score. Colorado State University on their revenge tour indeed against Fresno State. Listen, we started this game off with it being hot and heavy on the side of Colorado State, getting every single shot, pressing Fresno State to their back corner, making them flub and make mistakes on their back line, but eventually it started to even out. I mean, Chixa, this is a Fresno State team that we remember had to do a reverse sweep on their first match of the day. Is this just a team that starts off a little slow and heats up as we go?
Very well. Like I said last time, we wanted that one difference maker for them, that they just fed the monster that became the player for Fresno State. It might be a similar situation this game. Someone gets started maybe a little bit late in game 2 or 3. They start to feed him and they end up, cruising to that victory that way. Or it could just be Colorado State understands. I think I had mentioned 2 weeks ago that they had that rematch potential to come in. So if you read your opponent, figure out what works against them, then you can come back and beat them in this rematch.
Okay, well, they started off good, that's for sure. Will they be able to finish it that way? That is the question as we head into game number 2, the opening win on the side of Colorado State University. 2 goals, all they needed for that win. They're going to concede immediately, though. Fresno State with their first lead of the series.
Laylox just doing work. He did a phenomenal job in their 1 goal last game, but he started out strong for them in game number 2. Now I'm wondering, are we feeding the beast of Laylox? Is this going to be the beast that comes alive for Fresno State later? Or is Colorado State going to fight back? It's dangerous as they're getting shut on front of their net. They desperately need a clear, and they have not got one until now.
Ooh, but the defense there for Fresno State, we saw Colorado State concede off of a long clear like that, but Fresno, they seem to be a bit more synergized in terms of having those reinforcements ready and taking away those long clear shots. They're well balanced across the field, and I think they'll be more and more balanced as this game goes on, and they're able to potentially hold on to this lead and allow for the defense to play in their favor. But Shu picking up that wild touch that comes in the midfield, too quick for the defense.
Showing off that CRL Spring 2022 contender tag. I mean, then he is comfortable playing in the collegiate level, and he has made absolute monster plays to start this game off, and now to get the tying goal for his team. We're back to a 1-1 scoreline. It's even as can be. Both teams have had playmakers come alive. Can they continue to stay consistent for the remaining 3 minutes and 45 seconds?
Tell you what, this is the beauty of this Mountain West division. This conference is just full of evenly matched teams, and they give us the best of the best here. 1-1 to start things off, and these players didn't miss a beat between game 1 and game 2, though. Halo 1v2 opportunity against Laylox. Shoot, doesn't get a touch, but it's by the wayside. I think it's smart to break up the play there and send it in a different direction, but a bit too much of a surprise as it missed the target.
Communication can go a long way. That opportunity clearly not communicated correctly. Fresno State may have potential to reverse this direction, but it's a great pass here to Halo, and Laylox does a phenomenal job on the goal line to get that one away. Still continued pressure for Colorado State. Will they manage to maintain their lead again, get another one, keep that similar scoreline to game 1, or is it going to be Fresno State that really certifies this lead and gets back in this series with an even one? Halo again pressured away.
Oh, and that was Laylox again in a very scary situation. The lone defender, but had the hero of Hyenaha come up and break up the play. So once again, they're able to survive by the skin of their teeth. I thought Shu may have been damaged there on the goal line, but comes out alive, able to make the save. Hard 50 is going to take it to Super Turtle. Can control the ball. It's a good midfield pass. Right side picks it up. Laylox, picking up boost. Not much ball there. Giving it back up to Halo. And those possessions, when you're too focused on the resources rather than the ball control, can get away from you. Regicide, a very lethal touch there. Laylox can't pick it up. Colorado State, they're going to keep that even scoreline and move their way up.
Huge 50 drop down and demoed. Halo unable to get to that ball. Phenomenal job on the defensive end of Fresno State. Again, shutting down another potential opportunity. Colorado State keeps getting gifted, in a sense, different shooting opportunities, but it's always the denial that comes on through. Now is it Regicide that's able to push that one in. Saved away by Super Turtle. The Rule 1 gets broken up. It seems like these teams want to continue this deadly 3v3.
And listen, at a 50-50 showing here where this game could go either way. You'd think leaving a Rule 1 would put you on the backside, but it doesn't. I think it was Laylox to leave it, but he'll assist this shot. Regicide picks up the weak save from Super Turtle. The lead back for Fresno State.
This is just getting more and more dicey. It's so dangerous that one opportunity can really change how the tide of the game goes. Momentum now in the favor of Fresno State, but do they have the time? Can they keep up the pressure in the remaining minute to get Colorado State on even, uncertain, uncomfortable? So many different ways for Colorado State to just mess up. Can the opportunities come through? They continue to for Fresno State. Regicide with another 3-1 lead, Fresno State.
Oof, okay, Laylox, his pass almost got interfered with by his own teammate there, but honestly, this is what I love from this team, because there's almost always a player hounding their opponent's box zone in order to pick up these infield passes and make those shots so deadly. That's what Colorado State, as they move through the series, is going to have to worry about the most. Right now, their primary concern, though, is these last 30 seconds. Very limited time to bring this one back.
Regicide will keep up the pressure for Fresno State. A huge clear for Super Turtle, but he is alone in the front end. Great follow-up pressure for Colorado State, but I think this is a little bit too late. With 5 seconds left, not enough time for 2 goals. Laylox will take the ball away for certain. A ball suit to touch 2 goals can't happen in 0 seconds. Fresno State tying up this series in game 2.
We need a new Rocket League mechanic where if you score a really stylish goal at 0 seconds, Chicks it counts for 2 points. Okay, I wanna make that moment more interesting there. But yeah, you're right. The result is no. These players having a good time, keeping that ball up, and well, Fresno State having a bit better of a time as well with that win. I think. All right, they started off with that initial lead, and despite the equalizer from Colorado State, they maintained control. They have the higher shot count. They were even on the saves, and more importantly, I think they were really hounding that goal line area of their opponents, Chicks. Having those infield passes for this team available has been very, very enabling for this offensive team.
I think Laylox has kind of been that fly on the wall that keeps bothering you on the Colorado State side. He keeps just messing up their rotations, and then Regicide has been able to come in, finish off plays that he messes up, and then Fresno State just builds their lead off of that little bit of disruption. Colorado State needs to find out a way to rotate through that, maybe demo him before the opportunities, just deal with that disruption that Fresno State is causing, or else I think it's going to be Fresno State that holds on to this momentum. We've seen them do it before, and I think they can certainly do it again.
I believe in that as well. I will say, I want to see the Colorado State that we saw at the beginning of the series. They were absolutely controlling possession. They were throwing everything in the house at their opponent's backboard, and they were just overwhelming, and it really caught Fresno State off guard. I think maybe a strategical change to let go of those reinforcements defensively, maybe allow for those lethal counterattacks from Fresno State, but really activate your offense in ways like this. Look at Halo and Shu already teaming up on the offensive end.
It was certainly a beautiful opportunity. A shame that it got saved away, but all the more better to keep this game close. Nice to see Colorado State starting with that first aggression. I'm worried they won't be able to get there in the remaining time of this game. It's been hard for them to stay in the blue half, especially with saves like that. Here comes another touch on their own goal line. Fresno State has been well on the defensive foot. Regicide demoed away, and that pressure will dissipate a bit for Fresno State. They find a follow-up touch, but again, a lone person for Fresno State, only able to keep this ball upfield.
Yeah, it speaks to the way of the tight rotation on offense, I think, from Fresno State that they have. They've been really good at controlling the resources, guarding that half-court line, and having someone available every time. Last time it was Regicide. This time it's Laylox. Oh, and Hyena had so close to just wrapping the bow on that play there, but the defensive measures from Colorado State is still going to be enough. Ball skies high. The score stays tied here, Chicks, on a opportunity there for Colorado State. Shot's going to come in from Shu, and it's right above the defender. Sometimes it just takes a banger of a shot to find the first one.
So much power behind that ball for Shu, and he places it as far right as he can get in that moment, just a little far away from the single defender in net. Colorado State, they strike first again. This time, can they hold this? They held it in game 1. They weren't able to come back in game 2. They're back with the lead in game 3. Is this the type of series it's going to be? Kind of that pendulum swinging of emotion from one end to the other. But it seems like still Fresno State, they are very aggressive on the pitch. A couple of demos shot to fall through. A follow-up sent away. Regicide, then tap. Hyena how to finish. There we go. Fresno State finds the passes for that tying goal.
Sometimes it's just too much. They saw what opportunity they had for Fresno State and said, give it our all. Wonderful finish there to equalize, and you talked about the pendulum swing, the seesaw, and well, hop right on, because we are unbalanced as can be. Back in motion, the weight carried back for Colorado State.
It is such a good kickoff by Halo. He finds the jump in. He follows up his own touch. So difficult to do and stay on your feet well, I guess your wheels in Rocket League terms. Great job to get back in it just when we thought Fresno State had momentum after working so hard to find a goal. Back in is Colorado State with the lead, but Laylox has found some mechanical madness to clean it up his regicide yet again, and here we go, pendulum back to even.
Yeah, you know what? This one's hard for me to watch for Colorado State. The pendulum swings, it does, and sometimes fate carries the way to keep this game tied up, but that comes off of the double commit. That bounce shot, not one that should always go in from Regicide. If you're Colorado State, the comms have to be more crisp than that. You cannot allow for two defenders to commit to that. It's really that simple, so score shows for it. Fresno State, always a team to capitalize on mistakes and make you punish for those moments. So it's going to get back to tied up, or Fresno State will be able to do that as we cross that 2 minutes left on the clock.
2 minutes seems like a world of time with how much has already elapsed in this game. Just more shots to come, especially with the demos coming through. Miscommunication, though, on the side of Fresno State. That ball was looking so delicious in front of that net, and no one could find the shot towards the back of that net. Here comes Colorado State on the return. Not much to come for those shots, and it'll be Laylox pushing the pressure. Regicide off. Laylox almost finding a little bit of a touch. Here's the turn. The shot comes through for Laylox again. Fresno State back in the lead.
There's no better time than to press up right now from Fresno State than now. They have identified the vulnerability of this Colorado State team. If you can swarm the container of boosts, we saw a couple steals there in the corner from Fresno State players, and just keep badgering the backboard, you're gonna break down this defense of Colorado State. It is that simple. They are double commit heavy here today, at least in game 3. So those mistakes have to be minimized here. Colorado State don't want to concede another goal, and they've got to turn it around for another one to tie it up with a minute remaining. Time is not on their side, and Hyena doesn't want to work for them either. Can't find that ball around. Regicide does have a shot here, top corner. No, just by the side. Halo able to clear it out.
We'll see, can Colorado State continue with the pressure? Halo looks like a good opportunity. Laylox just coming in, back at it again towards the opposite end. Halo will continue. See Super Turtle in the corner, but doesn't look like they're able to connect. The tension, everything is so difficult for Colorado State right now. They only have 10 seconds to tie it up, and they're still on the offensive side. Super Turtle, the touchdown underneath. Regicide, goal line save, but the ball's still up, still on the side. 1 second, all that's left on the clock. A huge clear, but the demo shoe is alive. The clutch, it's here. He has the pressure. 50 still popped in midfield, but Halo's touch isn't high enough. Fresno State beat down in game 3. They get onto match point. One more is all they need for series victory.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Colorado State coming off with a loss, but not for a lack of trying. That 0-second play, even a shot, even a chance for this team. A goal line save from Regicide keeps this team on top for Fresno State. Listen, Chixa, we have such a different match on our hands. When we started this series, the tempo was so fast-paced in favor of Colorado State. Fresno State could barely keep up, but now it seems reversed. Now Colorado State's, they're the ones with the comms that are mixing them up. They're the ones double committing and exposing those vulnerabilities for Fresno State to press up against. I feel like with a little more cohesion, with a little more composure from Colorado State, they have a chance to stay in the series.
I don't know. I think I'm slowly turning into a Fresno State fan. Not gonna lie, they get me pretty excited.
It's hard not
It's
to.
been nice to see, their improvement from 2 weeks ago when they were on the line, needed to make that reverse sweep, and now they seem so much more consistent, so much team oriented. I mean, the pizza party, like I said, it's got to do it justice. Who doesn't love a good pizza party? And I think they've only gotten better from then on.
Well, not to inject some drama in the broadcast, Chicksa, but I had a third interview with Regicide, believe it or not, most recently. And he did admit that Manny, the coach, has not come up with that pizza party to date. Yeah, they're still cool. They're still kosher. They're still great unison with the team. They're happy with their performance. But without a pizza party, how are they supposed to defend plays like this from Halo, Colorado State, with the opening goal?
Man, I'm going to have a talking with Manny if they win this game. They need that pizza. They've earned that pizza. And if they get this goal back and take this series and this one, they certainly deserve it. But an early goal taken by Halo again. He's been just the kickoff king, getting both of his goals essentially in that first couple seconds after a kickoff occurs. But we'll see if Colorado State can continue this pressure. A couple of demos coming through for Fresno State. Maybe the frustration showing a little bit after that first goal, but still, there's time for them to come back, and I think they need to center those rotations and get back in this game the way that they've been playing.
Certainly going to help for Fresno State. I'm more worried on the side of Colorado State. Yes, they have the lead, but so did they in game number 3, and then they lost it. You called them the kickoff kings over there from Halo's perspective. I think they're just good at the beginning of the game and then slowly wither away. Not as linguistically lovely, but still not great for the state of Colorado University. They do need to keep that momentum going throughout the game if they want to take a pressing chance at their opponents. Halo, that's good pressure there. Super Turtle instead trying to get that mid. Not going to find it though. Hyena using every ounce of that boost to get the ball away.
Laylock's a great 50 win, but Super Turtle will be there on the follow-up. Not the greatest touch. Colorado State still in striking distance. They'll get this one center, and Laylock's to send it off towards the corner. Shu not in good area for that one. Certainly will be demoed away, and it looks like Fresno State looking to set up an offensive stance. They haven't had really a single shot that I can think of. Hyena is credited with one, but I can't remember really if it was just some sort of pot shots. It's been Colorado State with the pressure, and this ball mainly on that blue side of the field. A little bit of a passing play towards the opposite end. Hyena just too far up to finish, and this one taken away again from Fresno State.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself, Hyena, too far up there. Had they been positioned right where you need to be off that shot, they've got much more than a pot shot. They've got a goal in that scenario because they're catching Colorado State on those double commits again and again. And I don't know how many more they're going to be able to outlive Super Turtle, the lone defender, the lone savior. For that ball, Regicide turning in for the shot. It's going to be a hard one for Super Turtle to get down to. How do they follow this one up on the goal line? Unbelievable. Shu and Super Turtle, the duo to kick it away.
What has just happened? That ball was in the net. It was, glowy. Like when it gets all fuzzy, like 75% of it was considered inside, but that last little bit did not pass through. And shield your eyes. Oh no.
Not like this.
How unfortunate.
Not like this. Shu says, you know what? I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. And he allows for that ball to get loose and finish the play. Fresno State, I mean, this just hurts. Right, that ball more than 75% of the way through, and then it goes right in their net. How do you recover from this? I don't know, Chicksa.
Simple answer, you don't. Momentum all in the favor of Colorado State. They get one, We're like, okay, can they hold it? They get 2. We're like, all right, nice, good job. They get 3. I don't think you can come back. Momentum certainly all in their favor. They also have been pretty mistake-free on the side of Colorado State. As for Fresno State, they've made the majority of mistakes, and those have been penalized this game. You need to play full 5 minutes, consistent, clean Rocket League full, and a best of 5, and they have not done so this game. Sloppy. And that little bit of sloppiness can go a long way. Still a nice shot here. Follow up off the post again. And just those mere pixels can be that difference from getting now 2 goals for them or not.
It's continued to be the difference here today. Laylox, though, solid opportunity. No one there to follow quickly enough. So Halo, a couple touches off the wall to split the defenders. Maybe a bump from Halo into Laylox as well, but too far out to catch up to. Right now, Colorado State don't have to risk a lot here for these shots and these attempted goals, though Halo, great second touch there off the wall. They've just got to hold on to possession. They've just got to earn themselves a game 5 with a win here. The shot takes away Regicide from the play. Regicide still on this ball with all the boost in the world, but broken up now by Halo. Last-ditch effort for Fresno State here. Hyena trying to work that ball around the backboard. Handles it well, but the ball still stripped and stolen away. Regicide out to the corner. Super Turtle, a shot to seal the deal. I think it's sealed already. Shu says, get that ball out of here. Regicide says, well, I'll keep it alive for a second longer. And the late game antics find a way to the ground. Colorado State, they're going to force a game 5 in what's been a very back and forth series between Fresno and Colorado State.
I mean, we didn't make any guesses, any predictions for how long the series would go or who would win. But I think if we could have predicted, this would have at least gone to game 4 or 5. That's just how it's been. This series in general, these two teams like to take the game the distance. And now with game 5 afloat, it's it. This is it. Who wins this game wins this series.
I feel like it's so hard to feel who you're supposed to side with here, just in terms of picking a favorite for this final game, because it has been so back and forth, but not just between the teams, Chicks, but between the players as well. Remember when we couldn't stop calling out Laylox's name? 0 shots in that last game from that player, where you have 4 each from Regicide and Hyena. So I'm wondering if Fresno State is activating their star player for today, which, changes between series, but still. Halo, though, I got to credit Halo. Colorado State continuing to swing that ball in their opponent's net. You get Halo off those kickoffs, you get Halo off any play, and maybe they'll make that moment count. Folks, here we go. I see Laylox in a Merc, so maybe that is going to be the factor that's going to get Laylox activated. This is game number 5 of Mountain West. Colorado State, Fresno State. Winner takes the series.
Laylox, the Merc monster. Does the monster find a first blood shot off target for now? And Shu will look to go towards the opposite end of the field, and it'll be back to Laylox. Man, that car, I swear, it just makes so much of the field. The bump, the ball on target, but just a little too slow to find itself in.
Monster truck not going for the ball, but going for some bumps and demos there. We love to see it. Still can't connect on it, though. All 3 players, all defenders from Colorado State able to get that ball away. And there is the shot from Shu that does land in. Laylox, though, trying to play disruption here by staying near the ball without a touch, is no irritation to Shu for the opening goal.
Man, Shu has been on fire for a majority of the games today, just making really well-placed shots on the field. I mean, last game certainly was Halo's game, but otherwise I've seen Shu as their impact player. At least I think one of the players with more seniority or experience, if I remember correctly. So to see him make that impact and continue to kind of lead the charge for Colorado State, I think sets a fantastic example. We'll see if they can continue to use that example. And I want to see Fresno State turning that extra bit of disruption, that demo power, and making sure they don't get sloppy with it. They need to be careful. And in other words, they also, on the side of Colorado State, can't throw away open nets. Hello.
That was looking just as concerning as you were making it sound like, and the concern does not stop there. Though one of the slower looking cars, Laylox is gonna hound their opponent's box here, find that open net that you just had to mention, Chixa.
I don't know what happened from one end to the other, but whatever it wasn't good. It was sloppy. It was kind of crazy, and it resulted in a Fresno State goal. So it's back to being a tied game. Colorado State had the opportunity to be up 2-0. Instead, it's 1-1. They need to fight back, and I think Laylox, honestly, the Merc's working. It's doing its job, and we'll see if it can continue to be the star of the field.
That aerial showmanship there was probably the most flexible I've seen a Merc look at all in Rocket League. I agree. Laylox is making it look good out here, but can't it score more goals? That's the question. That's what they need there. 2 shot takers. Colorado State can't find that ball to go in, so Fresno State gonna turn it around. Laylox back over to the midfield and staying in front of the ball for those extra 50s, stealing boosts, going around the goal line for bumps. He's playing a massive disruption factor, and that's not just to the physicality, that is to depleting the resource opportunity for Colorado State as well. But why not physicality too? This is a menace on the field right now of Laylox.
I mean, that bus, that Merc, that car is twice as big, it seems, as an Octane, so I'll consider it the bully car right now in the field. It certainly stayed as being the bully, and now the pressure has continued to be on that orange half for Fresno State. They find a great pass center. Hyena can't find it on target. Maybe another effort here. Laylox to stay in, another 50. The ball yet to leave the orange half. Halo may just do it with the effort of Super Turtle. Clear possible. Turn here for Halo. Demoed by none other than the traveling Merc. And we'll see if Fresno State can take those demos into a goal soon enough.
Yeah, now is certainly the time. Getting down to that last minute of game number 5. We are in the last few days right now of the Mountain West Conference here. The regular season ending on November 4th. So if these teams want the right seeding in the playoffs, they need this win. It is going to come down to here in which champions are made. That is most certain. So who's going to take the torch and light the way to the win? Shu has been one of those players to make those moments count. However, sent away. Laylox does find the save, and Regicide next in rotation. The ball does get past him, though, and he's not able to get that touch that he's looking for. Hyena. Now, from there, Shu intercepting. Pass coming down. Halo wants to hold on to that ball, but can't do so, and it's back over to the midfield for FSU.
Super Turtle almost bumped away dangerously on that goal line, does find his footing and is able to send it towards the other end with the help of Shu. 20 seconds left on the clock. Super Turtle rolls one in, and now Colorado State has the lead, and not much time remains.
I think a Turtle's slow. Well, let me tell you, back in rotation as quickly as possible. That is 2 players of FSU clumped in the corner, just the right time to attack. If you're Colorado State, that's exactly what they do. Now, it's about holding on. 15 seconds in Regicide with boost and ball, but leaving it up to Super Turtle to strip away. It's time to hold on to that ball, not give it up. Laylox looks for a shot and misses it. The connection is off target. That was their chance. The ball's still alive, though. Hyena keeps the ball in the air. Shu denies. And Colorado State University, with a 20 seconds left goal, is going to take the Game 5 victory.
They win the rematch. The last one going to Fresno State. This one going to Colorado State. I mean, what a best of 5 series that we got. I mean, it went the full length. It ended up going the other way. And, you know, I don't know if that Merc was the best option going into game 5. I mean, it certainly caused a lot of drama, but Fresno State just doesn't pull it out. They can't win the both of them back to back. Oh no.
Could have gone either way. With it being tied, 20 seconds left on the clock. That is as close as it gets. Laylux with 1 shot and 1 goal in that game, in fairness. So it did have a point on the board, the only one for FSU. But sometimes, and most often in Rocket League, 1 goal is simply not enough. So that is the case here for the rematch of Colorado State University and Fresno State University in the Mountain West Conference here on Esports U. Game 5 and the series going to Colorado State University. We are going to search for that interview, so if you want to hear from CSU, then don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
To 19 different teams and over 350 students in to date in 2021. Like, that progress is there, and even if you have such a small, like, if you think that things are so small, realize that a community is there for you, especially being a female in esports. That community is there for you.
Definitely. That's a great way to end it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it again and your time. Just thank you overall. That's awesome. Keep
No
doing what
problem.
you're doing.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey guys, KTAD here, and just like that, another season of ECAC Esports regular season play has come to a close. Over the last 8 weeks, we saw a crazy amount of hype competition from some of the best collegiate esports has to offer, and as usual, you guys have me one last time to break it all down and to show you guys what we thought were some of the top plays this week. And honestly, guys, I don't have much more to say. Just check it out because I think we've got some really incredible clips here. Let's take a look. In our opening clip, it's Professor Dementium with a straight boot off the stage to kick things off for Bloomfield.
Got himself one. Kick back off stage though. But the air dodge is going to be that Bowser. He'll do it again, and he'll also bring himself that down smash so he gets quickly back before that Falcon's able to take any sort of advantage. But well, you're gone. The spikes come through. It's a clean kick to wrap things up, and well, he's got one. He's got one stock for his troubles.
Up next, the duel of Donkers and Robeast have some things to say with this beautiful 1-2 combo to close the door on Albany.
Hit the intersection, go straight up in the air for Robeast, who's going to work Central Missouri into the offense. Flip reset's a good one. The pass down to Donkers, and he finds the net. A 3-goal deficit in Game 3.
I gotta say, Curtis, it seems like after these two teams came out of Game 2, right? Again.
In our next play, who needs to be able to see your enemy when you can just take a educated guess?
Great, 1-for-1 over towards Catwalk. There's still more where that came from. Iranium is next up, and he will take a couple too many fights. Solsta as well is going to be able to take a couple of fights, winning them both. It's a 1v3, and Novacorium won't be able to do anything. Johnson, Wales.
At number 5, it's Saltonics with this huge flank onto Cole College to secure Temple of Anubis for his team.
Right now, it's got to be just destroying it straight up. Maybe with the Coalescence, maybe the Supercharger, but that Riptire could just immediately rip through.
Here's that Riptire. It does move Joker, but it could have been a catastrophic play. Now Nightbolt is pulled all the way off the point, and that's an easy one. Tonic's coming in with a triple off of that crucial rocket barrage, and that is all of them off the point.
Now it's down to Joker just to get the touch onto the point. Tracer.
Coming back to the Bloomfield versus Keen matchup, it was a clutch finish from Zenipu as he finishes off Brandon without dropping a single stock.
One more lease on life. Lease on life indeed for Brandon. Looking to hold the ledge, but a recovery from Zenipu. He says second time's the charm. He'll send him to the moon, and once again, Zenipu will not drop a stock.
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Back roads around the high ground to try and avoid that
Oh!
as much as possible.
Oh my absolute days! Here was me looking for that transcendence to counteract the grab, and no, it was just a big fat go button. In comes the pulse bomb. Down goes SUNY Poly Wildcats.
Phil, I can't remember the last time I've seen.
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Not much more. That tap can go a long way in the latter half, right? Now Retna bringing out that stimmy, trying to get the opportunity to move the team in forward. Okay, there's that showstopper I was thinking about. It looks like D-Nuns is going to have that show stopped. Sal, not particularly far behind, a 4v2. But really starting to wake up here on the race.
Yeah, wow. Welcome on back, everybody, to the Esports U Rocket League action here for the Mountain West Conference. I promised an interview from our CSU players, and guess what? I got exactly that for you. We've got Shu on the line here from Colorado State University. Oh, more than on the line. We got him on cams here, Shu.
Yeah.
Congrats on the win. How's it feel?
Honestly, it was really nerve-wracking. We came in just hoping to, make it through, and we did. So I'm just very happy about that, honestly.
Love that.
What was your game plan going into that game number 5? Of course, that was the final one. You guys have fought back to make it to that game 5. Did you have a strategy? What did you have to do to really finish out that win?
Yeah, so back in game 4, we decided to go to the game plan of really focusing on where each other are on the field. We've been doing a lot of training with that, of just basically forcing each other to know where we are, and that worked in game 4, so brought it over to game 5, and that helped a lot, and I think that showed.
Yeah, I think the way you guys are observing on the field showed big time, especially during that last second play there where Super Turtle had to slot in from the corner and finish that play. I'll tell you what, Shu, here's where my curiosity is. The regular season for this conference is wrapping up in a few days, right? And this was a big rematch game as well for you guys against FSU. So bring me into the mindset of, your team coming out to these last few games in the regular season. How big was this win for you guys against a team like FSU, a rematch? And what are you especially looking forward to in the matches ahead that will close out the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to take every game one at a time. We've had a lot of roster shakeups within our school just throughout this semester. So we're really just trying to enjoy the game, having fun with it, win as many as we can. If we make top 4 in the Mountain West, that'd be incredible. But honestly, we're just here to have fun.
Nice.
Amazing. Well, as always, I like to give the floor to you. Shout out anybody you would like. Shout out the university. Shout out, mom, dad, players, whatever it is, you take the floor. You could even down talk some opponents. I don't know. All you get that
pressure. Absolutely. Shout out to both my teammates, especially Halo. Him and I were both subs at the beginning of this semester, and he's been stepping up big time. He's been improving so much over the last couple months. So really proud of him. And then also shout out to my girlfriend, because I believe she is watching stream. And I really appreciate her support. And also shout out to you guys as the casters. I saw it the last time that we streamed, and you guys did such a good job casting us.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate that from you guys, as well as just production.
All right, well, Chicks, and now I'm all thrown off here. I'm blushing on camera. Come on.
My bad.
And shoot, I love the support, the optimism, and the positivity. I think that your mindset you bring to the team, I think that's very, very special. And from Chicks and I's perspective, we wish you guys the best of luck moving on in the season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Well, Chicksa, that was Shu from Colorado State University. Pretty awesome interview. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it really did just feel all positive vibes. It's nice to see that he, as well as Halo, have stepped up in that sub position. I mean, when I looked in CRL Fall and qualifiers, I was like, that roster had 5 people, and I was right. It has changed around, but it's nice to see they're making the most of the experience they are getting. So I'm excited to see the future of this team, as always. Like all, collegiate teams, they continue to learn over time, and that progress you really see on the field.
Well, the improvement will continue, and so will the broadcasts of this Mountain West Conference, folks. We still got another one planned for you. We're not quite done yet. Wyoming versus San Jose State is up next, so don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with that match.
So cute. UCF, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. Go Knights, charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Come on.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird. Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows. We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear it.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me. The first clip is me saying, "Don't put that in," and then it was the first. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day 1 of the tournament, but instead we're gonna have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes.
Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down.
What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself pretty close when I play because I like to zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know. It just kind of fits the form when I'm close to monitor. I don't know. It might sound cringy, but I like to be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro. I feel it. Absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today.
This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding. Just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding. He's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro.
I can't play Minecraft.
Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilins. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, that was good. That was good. Good content. Good content.
My name is Dusty. I'm 24 years old, and this is my first year at Bay State College and first year towards my bachelor's there. But I've been going to college for a few years now, or several years now.
Cool. What are you studying?
Right now, I am studying human resource management in
Nice.
business. Yeah.
Do you like Bay State so far?
Yes. Yeah. It's been pretty good so far. It's only been one quarter, but I like it so far. So.
Where are you from?
I'm from SoCal. I'm doing it remotely from Southern California.
So, what games do you play? What's your main game?
My main game is Smash Brothers, and that's what I compete in. So Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Okay, what character do you like?
Wii Fit Trainer is my main character.
So, how has it been being part of a collegiate team at Bay State? Have you been on a collegiate team before?
I've been on teams before. I don't know if I've been on a collegiate team before. I think this is my first collegiate team, but it is really nice, and the teammates are really supportive, and I've met some cool people, so that's nice. But I definitely do have experience like with teams, so it's nothing like super new, but it's always good to be in a team, have that support.
A fresh team. Yeah, that's cool. So, how long have you been playing Smash?
I've been playing Smash for about like 7-ish years now. Well, I've kind of played it since I was like really young, but like competitively, I've played it like 7 years. I played since the release of Smash 4, which is the previous Smash game, and now I've played into Ultimate, so quite a while.
What has been your proudest moment since playing Smash?
That's hard to say because I've honestly had a lot of good moments. It's just I feel like every other week or every other month I have a new moment where I'm like, wow, that's the best I've ever played, which feels good and makes it, I keep going for stuff like that. But every time I play a tournament set and it feels really good and I feel like I'm playing the best I've ever played, probably each of those consecutive moments. I just had a tournament a couple weekends ago in Las Vegas where I placed 9th out of nearly 400, I think, and I think that was one of the best I've ever played. And that felt really good, so that was a really big accomplishment for me.
So you would definitely say over the past 7 years, you said that you've grown a lot in the game?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot in the game, and I think I've also grown a lot just as a person too. Just like competition in general, there's a lot of learning, and there's a lot of ways to approach it. I've learned how to teach other people.
Welcome on back, folks. Match number 2 of the night for the Mountain West Conference at Esports U Broadcasting. My name is Pyro J. I am here with Chixa. Just got off of a heated Game 5 best of 5 match between Fresno State and Colorado State, which Colorado State won. Chixa, who knows? Maybe we'll get another long best of 5 here. We've got the matches between University of Wyoming and San Jose State University.
Yeah, again, a little bit of research. I always like to do it, trusty old CRL qualifiers, figure out where these teams seed. San Jose State seeded 29th in the West, Wyoming 89th. I'm a little bit surprised San Jose has been struggling a little bit recently in this Mountain West Conference, but I heard they're in a winning streak, or at least they've won pretty recently, so maybe they're just getting back into things. Sometimes it's hard to compete at the MMR that you seem to be.
It can be, yeah. And in fairness, this Mountain West Conference has some pretty stacked teams in it as well. It can be easy to be taken off the back foot and have a couple losses here and there. But on that win streak, it sounds good. I would love to say the same for University of Wyoming, but the last I looked, they've been on a 4-loss streak. So maybe not quite the same momentum as San Jose State University is coming into this best-of-5 match, but still, always a chance to rise up and clear their name, clear their streak, and start on the right foot again. This is round 12 of 14 in the regular season for the Mountain West Conference. So getting down to those last few games, those last few matches here. But game number 1 of this match right here is right off, and Unicorn in that shining, beautiful, beautiful Nomad.
I mean, it even has the unicorn horn. I think Vicious is also in a. What are these cars? What is it? That's a scarab.
Hey, you know, see the ball, be the ball. And the Scarab is about as close as being the ball as you can get. So maybe these are some high-level strategies that we're seeing coming out of here from University of Wyoming. And an opening as well. Unicorn, a bit of a redemption shot after one of their shots skied past the crossbar. But first one, still in for these wacky cards, Chixa.
You know what? Whatever works.
Wait, what is that from Aparo? Hold on.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying, Pyro. What is happening? You know what? If you're in a 4-game loss streak and you come out with these cars, I mean, what better than to just confuse your opponent? I mean, if I was San Jose State right now, I'd be confused. I would be like, what is going on? And I mean, I think it's worked. The trickery. It's working. It's working on me. I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of rambling, you know?
Okay, well, Valtex is rumbling his way to the goal line to try and back out some defenders. It doesn't quite work. I'm with you, though. I'm wondering how much the distraction pays off for, though. Is it the first 15 seconds or first 5 minutes? I'm not sure. We're also coming off of the match where Laylokes in that last game 5 switched to the Merc. Didn't work out tremendously for that team. So will the car switches play in the favor? I think it's the hot rod from Apparel. I'm not sure. Otherwise, a lead still to be had for University of Wyoming.
They've certainly had the pressure. Another shot here, just wide, clear across field. Just off target, almost finding its way in for Wyoming again. But you know, this is possible upset central. This is what we like to see. Valtex instead, gorgeous shot up left corner. What was I saying? San Jose State looks like they finally have got clicking.
Yeah, now the corner of this replay, and as play was developing as well, you're gonna see a team bump between Aparo and Unicorn. After Unicorn trying to get out of that, looks to fast aerial in the Nomad to make the save, and that doesn't work out either. We're starting to see some of the inconsistencies arise out of this University of Wyoming team. Maybe some of those mistakes that have contributed to their recent loss streak. I'm not saying that it's the best case for them, but I'm also saying that it's looking pretty good for San Jose State, who's going to score their second in unison.
Great job by Johnny to just get that ball towards center field. Unicorn needs to put that ball in his own corner, defend it, keep it away from the goal line, but instead Johnny's able to send it through, send it close, and back at it. San Jose now has the lead, 2 back-to-back unanswered goals. Can they find the third? I think, like you said, that distraction only worked for maybe the first minute or 2, but the cars no longer look as scary as they once were.
Yeah, not as scary, not as dangerous. I'll tell you what is dangerous. Johnny off of the backboard there. Had the extra flip from the reset. Couldn't activate it, though, to connect on the ball. Pretty nice pass, though. Toaster Dago trying to find a teammate in field. No connection to be had there, though. It's Johnny. Flip off of the ceiling, and Toaster Dago ready for it on the corner as well. Trying to implore the maximum pressure right now on the University of Wyoming. and it does work for a limited amount of time. Valtex, good control. The fake challenge out from Wyoming and a slew of demolitions through the smoke. What do we see? It's Johnny pass out to Toaster Doggo. Shot denied by Unicorn.
Such good pressure coming from San Jose State, and it looks like they try to connect with each other on the passing front. You're not seeing those solo plays. It's been someone trying to find anybody else in the midfield or the corners, but the passes haven't been connecting as flawlessly as I think San Jose would like. It's been a lot of chaotic energy near the goal line, and the pass just not strong enough, deflected away, whatever it is. This one, the Scarab just misses the balls with its little arms, and just like that, San Jose finds another.
Little bit of a stylistic shot there from Toaster Doggo. Turned all the way backwards and flipped into it like that. I'm not sure if that's for style. I'm not sure if that's for BM. One way or another, it is a bounce shot top corner slot from Toaster Doggo. And hey, they'll take that every chance they can get. It's also a great point from It's Johnny. Excuse me, a great play because they were setting up the double tap there off the backboard. So a lot of dangerous combinations right now coming out of San Jose State University. With all the tools in the kit, you can start to identify how this team can be very lethal. That one almost going in as well from Johnny.
Good demo here. The net seems so open. Can Vicious find the shot blocked away by It's Johnny, and he'll look upfield to connect this one with Valtex waiting patiently. You know what? Who cares about the pass? Let's go for the solo play. Johnny all the way from midfield follows it up and puts that one right on in.
I've seen Johnny get flip resets off the backboard. I've seen him get extra flips from the ceiling. I've seen double tap setups, and now just the perfect flip into the second touch of the ball. Johnny at all times is a nuisance to have to deal with if you're playing on defense right now for University of Wyoming, and it is becoming abundantly clear that this is a player to try and stop if you possibly can. If this is what he's putting out already in game number 1, I can't imagine what the rest of the series is going to look like. But I can't tell you what the beginning of it has been. Game 1 going handily in the favor of San Jose State University, although the unique car setup worked in favor for Wyoming at the beginning. It just didn't last.
I just think the chemistry between San Jose State right now seems very palpable. Everyone on the team with shots, 3 both for Toaster Doggo and It's Johnny, 2 for Valtex. So a lot of pressure on the field, double the shot count of Wyoming. And of the 4 goals, 3 of which were assisted. It seems like I said a lot of really great passing and chemistry on that side, and that is certainly giving the edge.
I think it is. Passing combinations are massive, and again, I can't understate the performance so far from It's Johnny. Aside from 1 goal, had participation in every single goal that was made for their team, whether it was the 2 goals or the 1 assist. Or 1 goal and 2 assists. So whatever which way you look at it, almost always a part of the play. And someone to keep in mind if you're looking to activate that offense of San Jose State University. Chixa, we do leave the lobby just because we had some players requesting a better connection potentially. But will they be switching up the cars? I'm going to throw it to you for a prediction. Do we see the Nomad Scarab Hot Rod combination again? Or are we going to get those Octanes and Fenix that we're so used to seeing?
You know, I think if they do switch cars, it's going to be another crazy car. I think we see a Venom. We see a Takumi. You know, maybe a Fennec in there. Who knows? But I don't think any real cars are coming out of Wyoming. Not real cars. Excuse me. Any traditional cars.
I like that. Yeah. They're all real cars, chicks. Come on now. But yeah, the Octane Dominus Fennec, typically that one that we're so used to. I myself, a Harbinger main. I don't think any other mains of the Harbinger exist out there. It came out in season 1 from free to play. I highly recommend it. I don't know why I'm using this time to advertise that car, but it's great. Chicks, don't shake your head. Okay, it's a great car. It's a great car. What are you, an Octane main? Just your typical Octane main?
You know, we don't need them. Yes, I main Octane only, okay?
That's what I thought.
Don't shame me.
Hey, we need some balance on this broadcast. It's okay. It's okay. A little bit of wild and a little bit of wonderful. That's fine. I'm pretty sure that's the West Virginia State's motto, wild and wonderful. Anyways, we are not in the east of the Americas, of the states. We are in the Mountain West. This is Wyoming and San Jose State University going at it here. A wonderful start from San Jose State. And, well, Chicksa, if they continue anything we saw from game one, then they're going to have a wonderful series ahead of themselves.
Yeah, you were mentioning how well It's Johnny was playing, but, you know, Toaster Doggo rocking that SSL tag, I have to think he has a lot more up his sleeve, and we only just kind of scratched the surface of what he's capable of. I mean, we heard our producer saying his name tends to come up a lot, and I'm not surprised if we see a little bit of Toaster Doggo action in the remaining games we have.
I mean, with a name like that, it has to come up in the headlights, right? I mean, Toaster Doggo. I'm not really one to, you know, call out weird names. Pyro J, don't know where that came from, but it's here. So respect, you know, I respect it. Absolutely. We are waiting for them to get in the lobby here, folks, for game number 2 to start. They are really checking out those presets and making sure they're in prime condition for this next game. I don't know if this one's looking as likely, though, to go the whole way of a best of 5, Chicksa. I think I need to still see more out of Wyoming. They were a little shaky on defense with the team bumps, a little slower in the rotations as well. Things need to be a little more crisp for me if I'm convinced of this series going the long way.
I have to agree. I think this is the biggest discrepancy we've seen in at least seeding numbers from Cyril Quell's 29 and 89. That's a ways to go. You can get a lot of MMR in between those numbers. So I think the mechanical difference can sometimes play a huge factor of just the struggle that Wyoming will have on the field if they're not up to that level and speed that San Jose brings to the table.
Yeah, mechanics, speed, all playing in the favor right now, it seems, of San Jose State University. And we'll see if it continues to do so as we head into game number 2. I see Octanes and Phoenix galore, Chicksa. So it's that Rocket League that we know and love once again. Let's see if it injects any kind of power, any kind of good combination here for Wyoming.
No. In fact, they gave us 1 Fennec, 1 Dominus, and 1 Octane. They gave us 1 each of the traditional cars. As I quoted in Toaster Doggo, which one not traditional one? What happened?
The Sentinel, the Sentinel of all cars. It's got a big body and it's ready to push its weight around this field. You gotta love it. We'll see how it works out so far, as it's pretty even standing for both teams. Vicious not gonna get the touch. Probably that he's looking for. It's Johnny past the second defender, maybe past the third. Oh my, off the crossbar! Toaster Doggo to finish, but you've got to credit It's Johnny. 1, 2, 3, past them all.
I wanted it. I wanted it so bad for Johnny to hit that one in. Ugh! Get that double! Man, all good. San Jose State still manages to get that goal in. They maintain yet another lead. And with a minute down, it seems like they have safely really just figured out how to control this field. Johnny again to collect this ball in the corner. Can't get away from Vicious, and it'll be back to a reset midfield presence. San Jose State looking to continue their pressure.
I was a little concerned over these clears from this team, but that one finds great distance. Unicorn on the better side of the 50-50 as well. Wyoming finding those moments where they can catch San Jose State off guard.
It's just the Dominus, man. Dominus power. Dominus is win 50s, Pyro. Car choice, more important than you think. It's all in the hitbox. And if that hitbox is just that much bigger, it's going to win it out.
Okay, Unicorn, don't take this to heart. I'm officially rooting against the Dominus now. You know, for totally irrelevant reasons. You know, nonetheless, Actually, I have to give Unicorn faith. Recently came in with the Nomad, and that deserves respect. However, respect not due to Unicorn as they are eliminated from the stage. Demolition takes them out. Apera trying to give Unicorn time to reset. And to the ball. Once again, a free double tap to get a couple touches and make matters worse for WYO.
They'll see if Wyoming can get out of this blue half, but Orange Car is still in control of the ball. Another 50 will go in the ways of Wyoming, but Toaster Doggo, little touch off the wall on target, but saved away. Another setup. Johnny doesn't find it. Toaster Doggo, double commit, but nobody on this ball for Wyoming to get the clear out just yet. Can Unicorn find a big booming clear? Ken with that dominance hitbox. Apero almost slots that one in. That would have been a gorgeous transition if it sunk on through, but it does not. And back again to a reset we find. 2 minutes left. 1-1 scoreline. Someone's looking for that leading goal.
Someone is. A lot of time still here. Johnny with that extra flip, but the shot's too hard. Vicious, it doesn't matter if you get a piece of this pie, because Johnny, he's eating it all already. The hardest shot you can find. Clean off of the ceiling.
The bump as well in net. I don't know who else was there, but somebody threw a goal line defender of Wyoming, and that left that net so open for Johnny to make that play. Great work on the side of San Jose, and it looks like they'll get a cross-field bounce to go on in. Valix will find a goal of his own.
Yeah, even on the replay, I'm not really sure what happened there. It feels like a little cherry picking, little bit of stealing there from Valtex, but the goal's still honored to them. I think, you know, Toaster Doggo already got an easy one off of the 3 defender beating play from It's Johnny earlier. So they're just sharing the wealth over here at San Jose State University. Will they continue to rake up the earnings here in game number 2? A 3-1 lead. It was 4-1 in game 1 to find the win, and they're well tracked towards that again.
Unicorn winning another 50, but this one taken away. Vicious doesn't find it. Apero to come on through. Wyoming, can they continue this pressure? The 50 rolls across to midfield, but nobody there to collect. It'll be San Jose who finds another shot. Pinch on the save. Johnny, can he fake this one out? He does! Goes underneath, and San Jose finds another.
Nah, don't do him like that. Come on now. I mean, they made him look so silly. That was a team bump. You think that's coming out from San Jose State? They're the ones bumping out the defenders. Nah, they're taking each other out. Johnny, they get them confused as to what team they're playing for here. They've even got the pass. Toaster Doggo expected it high. It went low, just like the last defenders did on Wyoming, but they've got a little bit of a response themselves. University of Wyoming still in this game.
It's a great passing play, and both defenders actually jump early. They expect that shot to be quick and hard into the right corner, but instead, great placement by Unicorn behind them and a little bit slower, so they both pass through the ball. Nice shot. Good opportunity here as well. Toaster Doggo to beat out. Can Johnny find an angle? He's been pretty nutty with them, but instead 2 players pass through, and Valtex, last man back for San Jose. Can Wyoming find an opportunity? No! Apero doesn't find the shot, and the net was so wide open.
Oh, yeah. That one hurts. It's going to sting in the morning for sure. Valtex just keeping this ball nice, comfy, cozy in the corner here. It's going to take more time off the clock than Wyoming would like, and that will indeed be the game. Unicorn gets justice there with a response, a revenge demolition, but that's about all they're going to walk away here with. 2 goals is not enough. San Jose State stays on top, and they will earn their second win, one shy away from winning the match.
We have yet to see a sweep. At least I have yet to see a sweep in this Mountain West Conference. So it'll be interesting to see if I really find such a powerhouse team. I find it hard to believe that San Jose State, at least not that we know of yet, isn't in this top 8.
Yeah.
They seem like they certainly could be a contender in the top half of the players in the Mountain West Conference, but maybe they just haven't been able to be consistent enough, be as dominant as we're seeing them today.
I do want to see them in another match, honestly, Chixa, because this one, the playstyle for San Jose State University looks very confident, almost to the ends of being cocky, because there's been moments where it's Johnny is going for flip resets that genuinely are not really needed, but is also at the other end making Wyoming defenders look silly by faking one direction going the other. So it's kind of paid out for him, and it's kind of punished in other areas, offering some counterattacks for Wyoming. But Wyoming, you've got to slot every shot, every opportunity that you're given. The last opportunity they had, an open net, was missed. Every chance needs to be taken, just like Toaster Doggo is gonna slot this shot. A routine redirect for this player.
But look who passes it to him. Oh no.
Oof.
A Pero. It's kind of an own pass. You don't ever want to 50 the ball facing towards your end of the field. That's normally a no-no. Chances are that isn't going to go the right way, and because of that, it ends up being a pass to the opposite team.
Does indeed, and Aparo eliminated on the stage, making him once again think about his previous situations here on the field. It does give you that semblance that Wyoming, unless they make a play soon, unless they start to establish some sense of dominance in this series, San Jose State University, they are going to run away with it. They absolutely have the capabilities of being top 4 in this 8-team conference. However, unless they walk away with a win like this handily, maybe they don't give out that statement that they truly need to. It is a scuffle around the goal line. University of Wyoming, but Aparo still able to make their way out. Unicorn with the demolition as well. Johnny able to clear it away, but the shot still available from Vicious, and they'll be able to punish an unorganized defense of San Jose.
Let's go, Wyoming! I was excited to see how well placed this shot was. I was worried it was going to be another missed opportunity, but Vicious places that exactly where it needed to be. It was strong, it was a confident shot, it was a well-placed shot, and now Vicious seems to be a little more confident. I like that. Going for a flip reset. Where was that earlier? I don't know, but I think this team has more to the table than what we've seen out of them. All of a sudden, it's pressure coming through for Wyoming. They've got 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot. Can they find more? It's interesting that all of a sudden they've seemed to have awoken, but is it a little too late?
Yeah, it might be. What they've done as well, though, in tandem with going for these highly mechanical plays, is really expanding the range of the field. It's taking longer for players to get to this next touch because this ball is finding pockets on the stadium that players are just not there for. However, there's 2 shot takers on the side of San Jose State University that are going to find this ball, plummet it through to the back of the net, and earn a go-ahead goal. Wyoming just cannot stay ahead.
So difficult because you can tell the mechanical ability does side on the side of San Jose State. They just have a little bit more consistency with those dribbles. Those, fakes even per se. Some flip resets thrown in there, and sometimes that's really hard to come through on. But Wyoming has gotten opportunities. They've found shots before. It's just they haven't been where they need to. And now another disruption on the defensive side. Unicorn can't send it away. The follow-up here, Vicious can't send it away. And Valtex just slots it through.
Johnny's playing more of a mind game than anything today. I mean, before he got the fake on 2 defenders, now he has forced Unicorn to bump Johnny into the pass there, making matters even worse in the quick chat. So I'm wondering how strong Wyoming's mental is right now to forget about that and move right along. Be the stronger team, take the high road, and start slotting some of these shots. We'll see if they've got those capabilities. Apparel looking to slot another, but just can't get that angle. Johnny staying right behind the ball for the extra 50. Valtex coming in as reinforcements. A good fake there for Toaster Doggo to just pick up the boost instead of the ball. Valtex with a long clear continues to take down seconds off this clock, chicks, that Wyoming are gonna need.
A lot of time, little time. I don't know, 145 sometimes feels like a lot, but can go really quickly. And Wyoming needs every opportunity, every second they can get. Toaster Doggo just didn't seem like he knew what to do. Unicorn could finish from vicious initial pressure, and that's a good job for Wyoming to take what they've been given.
For a game that San Jose State University has looked very organized upon, that was a massive miscue. Here they are on the corner now, University of Wyoming rivaling back. I mean, oh, that's just a cheat that doesn't go in favor of Valtex at all. Chicks, the last player was more or less a triple commit. Toaster Doggo was awkward on the post. The other two defenders dove at the same time. San Jose State need to clean up, and now, because they are unraveling at the ends.
Whew. I'm surprised, but this game is close. If Wyoming is able to take this game, they extend this series. Let's not forget, we're at match point right now for San Jose State. They took games 1 and 2, but it looks like they may not be able to pull out game 3 if they don't keep up these mistakes. Apparel, a good clear up field. Toaster Doggo up to Johnny, and Johnny can't find the touch. Vicious now with the ball, and he's been the monster. 5 of the 9 shots for his team, but Johnny to keep it in midfield, in neutral territory, and not give Wyoming another shooting chance.
They want to turn this around the other way. They want to end this in regulation while they have San Jose State University on the back foot from these last 2 goals. For University of Wyoming, here is the chance to turn the tides and get this ball on the other side of the half. It's been locked up in the back third of Wyoming. There's a pass. Unicorn can't get the better of it. Aparo standing still for a little too long. Like a deer in the headlights, just watches the play go by.
Valtex, it's a fantastic turn on the back rotation. He's thinking third man, I'm out of the play. But instead he gets gifted the ball, turns on a dime, sends that one through. And even though San Jose State has less shots, they have made more goals. Quality opportunities has been the name of this game. And with 10 seconds left, that single quality goal, that last one to end this game, it may just be all they need to take this series in a sweep. 0 seconds heroics to play a foot. Johnny descended from one end to the other. Toaster Doggo keeping it up. Aparo can't really send it much farther. Valtex still to the skies. The ball trickles in front of net. It gets up. Can someone keep it up? No. San Jose State with the sweep.
Oh, it was right there for University of Wyoming. They brought it back to a even score line of 3-3, but at the final second, San Jose State University, they're able to figure it out, slot that last shot, and finish this game, this match in sweeping fashion. Chicksa, I'm with you. I haven't been seeing sweeps at all in this Mountain Western Conference. It's been incredible teams from both ends, but University of Wyoming with those wacky cars at the start and just never getting back to the speed and the mechanics of San Jose State University in this match couldn't make a dent in this series.
You know, I can kind of see why San Jose State may not be in that upper half of the Mountain West Conference. I think they certainly have the potential to be, but they're not as consistent in it. They're a little bit sloppy when it comes to playing on the field. Maybe it's a little bit of cockiness. Maybe it's just not being able to play the full 5 minutes, or maybe they're just more of a freestyle team in a sense. You know, it doesn't seem like they're out there communicating as efficiently as they could be, or passing as effectively. It's a little bit of chaos that we see when they play.
Well, a win is still a win, chicks. A sweep there for San Jose State University as they're looking to get that top 4 there. And hey, folks, we'll still hopefully be able to talk to a player from San Jose State University and hear from their perspective in this match. Awesome Mountain West Conference win here for San Jose State University over University of Wyoming. Hopefully we have that interview for you all right after this break.
Coaching, I've been doing maybe a year and a half-ish, maybe almost 2 years. I'm actually not sure on the number. I think a year-ish, year and a half is probably closer to the right one. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun too. It's really interesting because it gives you a different perspective on the game, and not only are you helping other people, but you kind of help yourself in a way too, because you can kind of see things from a different perspective, so.
How would you describe yourself? Do you like competing more or playing for fun or?
I'm definitely more of a competitor. Ever since I was young, like I remember playing like board games um with like friends or something. I think I was waiting for them to play, and I think some of them were playing like just like house rules or whatever, and I was like really, really young, and it like made me upset. I'm like, you guys aren't playing it the right way or whatever. But like I've always been a competitor, but at the same time, like you have to have fun, because if you're only a competitor and you're only competing and it's all seriousness, like it's there's like a limit to that. So like you have to have fun. So definitely both, but I definitely lean towards the competitive sides of things. So I like optimizing things and seeing the best thing you can do, because it all started out with like it all started out with it just being fun, because when I was younger, I played different games, and I originally just played them for fun, and I played them all the time, but I played them so often, and I got so good at them to the point where uh, it just started to naturally lean into the competitive side of things, and I was so good to the point where I was like, oh, okay, what can I do to make myself like better, and how can I see this as like something I can improve at? So it kind of made like a transition a little bit, but so it's both.
If you were to give someone advice who may be looking into joining an esports team, but they're kind of on the fence, what would you tell them?
My advice would be to really like think over what they're looking for, like in not only in the collegiate esports team, but in school as well, and like see like exactly, does this line up with what they really want, and just to figure out what they really want, and if it's going to be a good decision, from like a scholarly standpoint and from like a financial standpoint, because there's a lot of things to consider. Like I thought it over a lot before I realized, okay, yes, this is a really good decision, I should go for this. So that's something that should be considered, and also like the time frame as well, because if you commit yourself to a collegiate team, it could potentially be a long time. um, so just consider it and think through like all your options, and don't ever make it like don't ever make a decision just off like an emotional reaction or anything like that. Just like, think it through, I guess.
So for you personally, how many hours do you think you game a week?
That's a good question. It's actually way less than it used to be, but before I would be putting in probably several hours a day into Smash. About a year ago, I was like really, really grinding it and put a lot of effort into it. But lately, like my priorities have shifted just a little bit, just because there's other things I need to focus on. Like I started working again recently and stuff like that. So it's taken a little bit of a backseat, but it's always something I focus on. So like, even though I'm not necessarily playing all the time right now, I still try to get at least 30 to 60 minutes in a day. But I've been really busy lately, so it hasn't been looking like that lately. But if I'm not doing that, then there's still other stuff that kind of goes into it. Like I do a lot of research on mentality stuff and like stuff like meditation and stuff. So if I'm not gaming or whatever, there's still other things that I feel like is going towards my improvement at the game.
Could you expand a little bit on like meditating and how that helps you?
Yeah, so with a game like Smash, it can be like really volatile, and one of the reasons why I pursued Smash is because, well, I've always liked it since a young age, but also it's always been like really challenging. Like Smash 4 came out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start competing with Smash 4, and I started playing it. For whatever reason, when I started playing it, like I realized that I was getting like frustrated, like I was like kind of getting a little bit angry, and like anger is something I don't really feel very often. So it was kind of like a challenge for me. I'm like, okay, this is really challenging. This game is really hard. I want to figure out how to do this. Like I want to challenge myself. And that was a lot of reason why I did that in Smash. Just like some other things, like it can be comparable to kind of like chess and tennis in a way, with like mentality aspects. And I used to play tennis in high school, and I was never really like super good at it, but I was like I was really into it whenever I was playing for some reason. And there was a lot of frustration in that too back in high school when I played. So it was figuring out how to manage that frustration, and how to like get it under control and actually channel it into something useful. Because one of my goals is always to be like, I want to be like a calm and collected person when I play. I like, even though I'm an emotional person, I can be an emotional person because I'm passionate and I care a lot about it. But that's kind of where the meditation comes in, because it lets you kind of be more like at one with yourself and your emotions and how you feel, and stuff like that. And also just kind of eases your mind a bit, and it can really help in those situations. Like if you practice meditation and then you're in game and you're playing, and there's a situation where it's like super high tense situation, it can kind of give yourself the advantage, because you might be a lot more calm than your opponent if you do practice stuff like meditation. And it just has a bunch of other benefits as well, because with something like Smash, I try to be like the best I can be in game and like out of game. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I feel like if I improve.
Well, welcome back, folks. I know the first time I promised an interview, we got one. The second time, not so much. But hey, the result is the result nonetheless. San Jose State University do take the win against University of Wyoming in a 3-0 sweep. And fantastic match. And honestly, Chicks, a fantastic day for the Mountain West Conference of Rocket League. We saw that match, a game 5, best of 5, in which Fresno State were defeated by Colorado State University at the last few seconds. I'd say it was a solid day of Rocket League.
Yeah, I love that rematch potential out of that game. Two teams that are fighting to be in that front half of the 8 teams in the Mountain West Conference. And I mean, we mentioned earlier during the broadcast, Mountain West Conference, their games end really on Friday. That is the last 2 games that they have to finish out that seeding. So it's an important time for them. And to go 1-1 even in that rematch of Fresno State and Colorado State University certainly shows how those teams are really fighting for that finish line.
You love to see it at the end here, regulation of this Mountain West Conference for Rocket League. So some awesome matches tonight. Hopefully more as the week progresses. What I can tell you here on the broadcast for Esports U tomorrow is we've got more good action coming up. Overwatch 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern, and more Rocket League at 9 p.m. So stick around on the broadcast tomorrow. Catch out some more great collegiate action. But folks, that does wrap it up for tonight. My name is Pyro J. I've been joined by Chixa. Awesome casting and interviewing with Costa. With Chixa. Hello, enjoyed it so much. And shout out Colton on the background, making everything look gorgeous. That's it for us on Esports U. Folks, thanks for tuning in to the Collegiate Esport broadcast. We'll see you next time.
What about nerves? Like, do you get nervous?
Every now and then I definitely do get a little bit nervous. A lot of the things, like a lot of my nerves are kind of quelled at this point, because I've been playing for like so long, where it's like if I go to a tournament and I sit down, it's just me in the game, like it's just me in the match, and that's the goal, and it's just trying to learn and just play what's in front of me, but sometimes there are a little bit of nerves, like for example in Vegas, because I'm not very often playing on like big stages. Sometimes it's smaller tournaments, and at Vegas it was a bigger stage and there's a lot more people watching. So it was a bit more of a unique situation that I wasn't always in, and there was a little bit of nerves there, although it was a bit under control. But I think I definitely have the nerves mostly under control. And if there's a new situation like the stage one, I feel like just having more experience with that kind of stuff kind of help quells it. And also it's just because there's also other methods too, like telling yourself like, like self-affirming stuff, like Like, this is what I do. I'm just gonna go up there and play the game and do my best. And telling yourself that kind of stuff helps with nerves a lot too. So
As a coach, do you tell those things to the people that you're coaching as well when they're nervous?
yeah, I try a lot to practice what I preach, and I do in my coaching. There's a lot of mentality coaching too, because uh, I feel like on a lot of I feel like it's a really interesting part of the game and just a part of life too. And I feel like it's not something people focus on a lot with coaching. I feel like a lot of coaching, they're focusing on technical aspects, in-game aspects. Like what can you do in this situation that can be better. But sometimes like mentality comes first, and they're not going to be able to make those steps and make those leaps without like making a change in their mentality first, or at least trying to make an improvement somewhere there. And there's a lot of different like perspectives for it, but yeah.
I really admire your mindset. That's really cool. A lot of the
Thank
gamers
you.
that I've talked to are like aggressive. It's
Thank you.
really cool to hear that. Switching gears a little bit, how do you feel about the CECC? What do you think about it? And do you think your team will go to Atlanta?
So far, I think it's been good. It's been fun, and I do think there's a very high chance we would go to Atlanta. With my mentality, like I was talking about before, sometimes I just go into it and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do my best and I'm gonna play, and that's really what comes down to it. But I am really confident in our team's ability. I think we have a really good set of guys that put a lot of work into it. So I'm very confident that we would likely go to Atlanta. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Then I just go from there.
Well, those are all the questions I had. So, is there anything else that you want the world to know about you, or anything that you would like to end with?
I don't know, for anyone watching, like just try to find like a balance like in life, and try to find like who you are truly, and like follow that passion. Because just for like reference, I worked somewhere for 3 years, and then I felt like I wasn't being called to work there anymore, and like Smash was something I always cared about and always wanted to do. So I quit work, and with the money I had saved up, I pursued Smash for like a year and a half, and like that phase just kind of ended. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. Like I wasn't like making a lot of money through it, but it was something I was passionate about, something I wanted to do. And I'm really glad that I did it, and I hope that other people can consider like following their passions like that, but also with proceeding like with caution, doing what is available to them, and just finding like who they are and what makes them happy, I guess.
Thank you so much again for your time and doing this interview with me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Is that we don't have these preconceived notions, and we're willing to listen to our membership and read the room, read college athletics and how it's connected and how it's not, and take what we have expertise in championships, but also throw out some of the other stuff. I remember when we first started, there were some conferences were applying their amateurism rules to all of their esports competitors, and I think we knew enough to know that no, that's not going to work in an esports culture. It's got to be very different. And by the way, the NCAA was going in a different direction. You could see that Train had already left the station on that, and so it's an incredibly dynamic area and ever changing, and will continue to change. And just as we didn't know when we started what it's going to be looking like, I think similarly we still don't know what it's going to be in another 5 years. I know enough to know that all of us are still going to have a thriving esports program that's doing a real good service for our members and for our competitors. But we still don't know necessarily what some of that is going to look like, and that's pretty cool about it all. Let me ask you this, because you all are used to dealing with your athletic directors, and each of them are dealing with what's in front of them in their athletic departments. My guess is at least some of your schools are that this is not necessarily operating within the athletic department. And can you talk about how you navigate that